and Hump Day.
Birds are coming, tra-la, tra-la.
Tra-la, tra-la. Tra-la, tra-la.
Cardinals are coming, tra-la.
Tra-la, tra-la.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the opening drive on 101 ESPN in St. Louis. Great to have you with us at 7 o'clock. Beautiful day in town. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Brooke Grimsley is here. Carrie Davis is here. Randy Carricker is here. Matthew Rocchio is here. You can watch us on the YouTube. All you need to do is just go to your YouTube on your phone or your computer or any device. You can put us on your giant 65-inch screen if you want on your smart TV.
That would be the best way to consume us.
Yeah. Go to YouTube and just go to 101 ESPN STL, and you can watch us. Of course, the Cardinals are coming 3 in a row now. They're 6-4 in their last 10, and they aren't alone in the basement in the National League Central. And go Cards.
Are they like 8.5 games
away
out of a playoff spot?
Yeah, I mean, well, no.
That's still a ways away.
Ways away, but at least
but guys, it's not done yet.
It's never over until the fat lady sings, as they say.
Yes.
Is that politically incorrect now?
I don't know. I think it's actually still acceptable. I haven't heard anyone complain about that. We hear a lot of complaints about a lot of things.
Yeah.
No, not these days. CD.
2023.
314-399-9646. 314-399. Yo-ho is calling, saying the fat lady sings body shaming.
It is 7:01.
We're going to get. You're starting them up early.
Is it body shaming to call a fat lady fat?
Gonna get some.
Oh.
Hey, these are two different questions, Randy.
This might be
You're
taking
asking
us
two
fat
very different
phobia.
questions.
Randy.
Are you fat phobic, Randy?
I love fat people.
Oh my God.
That pause.
It's 7:02, and so we're.
It's great to have you with us. Cardinals win last night 6-2. Enjoy your 60-cent drinks at Mobile on the Run today. And the Cardinals are, you know what? I figured this out. Okay, and we love our guy Chip, but the way it should work is that Tom Ackerman should just do all the games.
No.
Yeah, so that we could go like 150-12.
Okay.
You're really going to do this because Tom is great. Chip is great. I love Chip.
I just did it.
Chip is the primary job. Yeah, but
Or I have a better idea.
Okay.
Just play the Oakland Athletics 162
Not a bad idea
games.
either.
there you go.
Yeah, Oakland is 33-87. 33-87 after falling to the Cardinals last night, 6-2. Cardinals got off to a great start early on. Paul Goldschmidt doubling home Newt in the first inning. And before the first inning was out, the Cardinals got a home run from their third baseman.
Launched into left. Get out of here. See ya. Home run. Nolan Arenado. The Cardinals add on against the A's. It's 3-0.
3-0 after an inning, and then in the fourth.
This one's hit out to left center. Not going to get this one. It's gone. It's a home run for Jordan Walker. And the Cardinals increase their lead. It's 4-0.
That was actually later in the first. I was talking about the Kisner double to make it 5-0, and the Cardinals win it by a score of 6-2. Tommy Edman with another home run for the Cardinals yesterday, and they win it by a score of 6-2 over Oakland. The Redbirds now 54-66. Here come the Cardinals. Only 12 games under 500, guys.
Only.
Yeah.
Emphasis
So
on
you're
the
saying
only.
there's a chance.
Okay, let's talk about excitement then.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. Randy is.
No, I've got excitement. Okay. How about, okay, and I was, CD, you were doing your Casey thing, and I was complaining to Brooke and to Matthew about the muted response to the photos that I sent side by.
Oh.
It didn't need a response.
I got no response at all.
Why don't you put it on X?
Yeah.
Okay, I will. Dakota Hudson goes 6 2/3. He allows 2 runs, 5 hits. He struck out 3 and walked 1. Why did we get an oh my God here?
How did you get the perfect? It's the second one is such a perfect picture,
No,
Randy.
it's not. Don't encourage that.
It looks
the
identical.
mouth is exact. Like they're frowning the exact
They
same.
play the same position.
No, this is
They play
eerie.
the same position.
It's eerie.
It's possible.
It's eerie.
that the mechanics of
I don't
that
know.
position are similar.
I think Randy might be onto something. No.
I couldn't tell the difference between
So-
Justin
so-
Verlander and Dakota Hudson, honestly,
That's
last
the
night.
picture
Here's the
that he
thing.
put side by side.
But also,
Yes.
you look at this picture, you hear
then
the
he
way
put-
Matthew Liberatore talks.
No.
There's I think there's some
And
big
then
unit in there. He sounds like a lumberjack.
He put Randy Johnson and Matthew Liberatore in the same picture as well.
Have you heard them both talk?
I don't. Have you heard Patrick Mahomes and Kermit the Frog talk?
I'm just saying. Both of them. But, excuse me. Both of them at the top of their field. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want one? You want playing quarterback. One you don't.
Well,
Exactly. And I love Patrick Mahomes.
So anyway,
I love Kirk.
Great voice.
I have multiple pictures that I am going to put up on the X, as it were. I've got Dakota Hudson and Justin Verlander.
Look,
And then
I
I've
mean,
got Matthew
the
Liberatore and
exact
Randy
same
Johnson.
person and picture. I don't know. I don't see a difference.
I don't either. Thank you, Brooke.
I really don't. What difference is there, CD?
Their
Other than
careers?
I don't know. Yeah, careers, awards.
Thus far.
The game was so much
I
fun
looked like
too.
Justin Verlander last night.
Yeah, he was there. Green Seats was
Oh
there.
yeah, he let us know. He let us know.
Big time.
He just sent us a picture. Look at Tyler O'Neill. And wanted us to see how close he was to Tyler O'Neill
Yeah.
as he was in the as he was getting ready to take the plate.
Yeah, you guys should have seen this because he just casually sends us a photo in the group chat where it looked like he might as well be there on the field with Tyler O'Neill. And I said,
thought he was
and
on the
I said,
field.
what a flex. And I'm not talking about Tyler O'Neill.
Yeah, I thought he was on the field.
Right.
I thought he might have been the umpire as close as he was. Yeah, I'm like,
I didn't know.
You calling the game tonight?
My parents were at the game. They sent me that photo.
Yeah.
It was relayed. It was relayed.
Oh yeah.
okay. Sure.
Okay.
So anyway,
Put that in air quotes.
at
Sure.
Randy Carricker on the X machine. It used to be the Twitter machine. Now it's the X machine.
Can we still call it Twitter? You think that
Yeah,
would
we
make
can.
him mad?
No, I don't think so.
I think it will, but that's why we should
he
do
paid
it.
for Twitter. You should be very happy with us.
And then changed it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Cardinals win it by a score of 6-2. They'll wrap up their series tonight over at the ballpark before the New York Mets come to town. The Cardinals have won 3 in a row, as we mentioned, and the Cardinals left 11 runners on base. It happens now and then, but they didn't have as bad a night as Oakland did.
You see, that's the key to success right there. If you're going to leave runners on base, then just make sure your opponent's really, really bad.
Yeah.
So that you can actually
Really,
still
really
come away
bad.
with a win.
Can I give some credit where credit is due, by
Sure,
the way? Chris
of
Vonderhaar
course.
with another terrific performance. He goes 2/3 of an inning, perfect. And then John King comes on. You think he did that? It's kind of like Michael Fox and Michael J. Fox or whatever. He's John King rather than John King. He wants people to know the separation between he and the newscaster.
100%. He knows about this,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then, have we reached a firm conclusion? Well, we decided it's Yoho Romero, did we not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yoho Romero with 2 strikeouts in his inning of work, and he was outstanding. So, go Cards.
Good job.
Yeah.
Winning
Gotta
against
be
the
happy.
Oakland Athletics.
Well, winning.
Yeah.
Just stop at winning.
Yeah, you don't
Okay.
have to say the other part.
The team that they played doesn't matter.
No.
No, not
If you
really.
guys say so. I'm
You
going
gotta
to
beat
go.
everybody.
Yeah, they haven't.
Darn it.
It might be the reason why we're here at this point.
Yeah.
But 12 games
second.
under 500 does look better than 15. Yeah, it's getting closer.
And the Reds lost last
There you
night,
go.
so you get a positive
We're still
there.
11 games back. I mean, crazier things have happened.
But
Very
Carrie,
few.
Dakota Hudson did really good against the Twins and the Rays. Those are good teams.
There you go.
He told us not to overreact about those ones, so I feel like we can overreact now. 3 straight starts in a row. He's beat 2 out of 3 good teams. I think we can overreact now and give him the 3rd spot in the rotation.
Oh, no. Let's finish out the season and see how well he performs.
Reds, Cubs, and Brewers all lost. Cardinals won.
Look at that.
Yep.
So
That's
we
what
gained
matters.
a game.
We gained a game
moved
out of
up.
the division. Yep.
We're still in the basement,
But you know what? Just gain a game and get to within 10 by September 1st. And then we know how things work in St. Louis. It's happened before.
I couldn't imagine.
Why? Just because you don't have Chris Carpenter and Albert Pujols. Come on.
I just couldn't imagine. I don't know. I don't know how I would feel if they made a playoff push at this moment, at this point.
Because you just know it wouldn't be sustainable.
It would be like setting you up for the fall. Like
Yeah.
you know, you don't have.
Yep.
I mean, I just don't know.
And can I confess something here?
Sure.
We had a segment last week where we asked if we would trade Jordan Walker for number one starter. I said, well, I'd trade him for probably 3 guys in Major League Baseball. One of those 3 was Shane McClanahan.
Oh, yeah. I saw that last
of the
night.
Tampa Bay Rays, who's going to undergo Tommy John surgery.
Not great.
And so, no, you don't trade a superstar position player for a pitcher because all the pitchers get hurt.
They do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
And potential superstar in Jordan Walker, potential superstar in Nolan Gorman. And CD, you've said this from day one with Nolan Gorman. No, you just don't do it.
you don't do it. But you may have to do it. And that's the unfortunate part of the business. I mean, I was thinking about this coming in. Teams look at how it's always amazing how if fans say, "Oh, just get rid of such and such," if you don't want them, why the hell do you think another team does?
Oh, right, exactly. Right.
What about if they're going to want them because I sent them? No, it's not how that works. They want the people you want.
Or what if you just, package a bunch of them together, like Taylor Motter, Tyler O'Neill, Dylan Carlson, because it seems he's fallen out of favor.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to throw in who's somebody else.
Just throw in someone else. It's going to have
Andre
to be.
Palante. There you go.
Okay,
and we can't get a starting pitcher out of that.
You can.
Okay.
Yep.
He won't be starting here.
So
Might be starting in Memphis.
I put these pictures up on the X machine at Randy Carricker, and somebody texts in a GIF or GIF that says, "Are you high right now?" No, I'm not.
It's 7-Eleven.
No, but
Damn.
he just thinks that just because I've got a very accurate. I mean, is there a greater depiction of 2 pitchers next to each other than Justin
I can't
Verlander?
say.
Yeah, I would have to say
And Dakota
probably.
Hudson.
I don't know. These are beautiful photos.
And
I
then
see no difference.
You can tell that Matthew Liberatore grew up watching Randy Johnson. He was from the Valley and grew up. And so you see that picture, Liberatore and Johnson, you say, okay, well, I kind of, some people would say, I kind of get it. Some people would say, no, are you high right now?
Yeah.
Somebody said minus the skill. Pretty close.
That's the most important part.
All right, so kids, you can watch us on the YouTube. We'll be there throughout the course of the morning. Here's what we got coming up. We've got Ask Uncle Randy. Text in now, 314-399-9646, 314-399.
Yo-ho!
And it's Wednesday, so that means Wednesdays with Waino coming up at 9:30. We're also going to talk to, friend, do you know Tyoka Jackson, CD?
I do not. I think I've met him a time, too.
Good man. Former St. Louis Ram. He's an ESPN college football analyst, and he'll join us coming up at 8:45. But next, get your text in for Ask Uncle Randy on this hump day on 101 ESPN.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. When you use the rideshare service, you're putting your life in the hands of a stranger to get you safely where you need to go. But sometimes tragedies occur. And when they do, big companies like Uber and Lyft are often impossible to deal with on your own. We know how to hold these companies accountable. When you've been involved in a car crash or been a victim of assault, we're here to protect you.
Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Call 314 or 618-900,000 to learn more.
Hey, if you are putting together a meal for somebody, you need to start at Schnucks and download the Schnucks Rewards app. And if you're going to, for example, put together a great seafood meal with some swordfish and some beautiful vegetables, maybe you get some grilled asparagus with that swordfish, or maybe have a steak, a little filet with that asparagus, and then go get some tater tots or make a baked potato, and then go pick out a wine and to have a spectacular meal for somebody, you need to start at Schnucks and download the Schnucks Rewards app and put that list into your Schnucks Rewards app, and you'll be able to go through the store and have such an efficient shopping experience, because when you put your list in the Schnucks Rewards app, it actually tells you where to go next, like aisle 4 for one thing, aisle 6 for another, aisle 7. So you don't have to go all the way down to aisle 10 and then come back to aisle 2. It's a really efficient experience. And when you get to the checkout line and have that beautiful meal meal on the that you haven't cooked yet, obviously, but you have it on the conveyor belt, you're going to get 2% back on everything you purchase at Schnucks with the Schnucks Rewards app. It's simple. Shop, earn, and redeem, and you don't even have to go to the store. You can have it delivered. You can pick it up curbside, but make that special meal for that special somebody. Okay, so I've got it for you. Filet, grilled asparagus, baked potato, and then a spectacular dessert, and to get that bottle of wine, too, at Schnucks.
This is the opening drive on 101 ESPN. Brought to you by Sumner One. Question for Uncle Randy? Let him dive into his infinite well filled with wisdom to find you answers. Text 314-399-9646. It's Ask Uncle Randy on 101 ESPN.
Hold on. Here we go. Ask Uncle Randy. Aunt Brooke is here. Uncle Carrie, Uncle Randy. And Matthew is going to be our master of ceremonies. Matthew, what do you got for us on the old text line?
From the 618, Uncle Randy, today is my first day as an elementary school principal. Any advice?
Yeah, I would say take deep breaths. My thing is smell the flowers, blow out the candles. I hope you don't mind screaming, kids. Just try to maintain patience. That's the biggest thing that I would recommend. Anytime you're around a large group of kids, you're going to hear a lot of shrieking, a lot of screaming. You're going to have kids that are crying, of course. First day of kindergarten. Yeah. So just be patient, and all you can do is handle one situation at a time. You're going to have situations, but just handle one situation at a time and move on to the next one. And I can tell you this, you're going to be exhausted when you get home tonight.
I would say congratulations on the new gig.
That's
that
great.
is
Yeah.
awesome. I think it's important to understand that when they're kids, you are really molding and showing them, shaping them to be who they're going to be, and take pride in that. Enjoy that part of it. All of them, every single one of them is looking for someone else outside of their home to assist in their growth and their maturation. So it's a huge job. Teachers have, I think, next to parents, the most important job in our country, because they are the ones that are with your children oftentimes more than you are. And so if you're the principal, make sure you have great teachers, great leaders, people that are doing the job that needs to be done, respecting kids and showing them how to be great young people.
Well said. Thank you. And by the way, thank you, yes, for being a principal and helping educate our youth.
Youths.
Dear Uncle Randy, I have a job opportunity tomorrow that could be moving me back to STL. I would be a first-time homeowner / renter. What area would be the best to look in, or should I just contact Gloria Lou?
Well, you can never go wrong with speaking to Gloria Lou. And I think there are, if you are single, it's different. I would say that if you are betrothed, that living in Creve Coeur would be great. It's central. You can get anywhere fast. And a lot of this depends on where you work, because you want to be as close to work as possible. But there are a lot more young single types in the Central West End, or if you head on over to like the U City area, it's very nice. And you can never go wrong in the St. Louis area with Kirkwood or Webster.
No.
Never.
When I first moved here, I lived in the Brentwood area,
Great.
and that was nice because you guys know how much I love Target, and guess what's right there in Brentwood? I was there every day, just staring at things. It was fantastic.
Well, and Obie Clark's is over there too.
Oh yeah, Obie Clark's as well.
Staring at things.
I'm just staring at things.
had an
Hey,
over-
when I
we
first
had an
moved here, I was on a
over-under.
tight budget. I
We
was
had
on a
an
tight
over-under
budget when I
on
first
her
moved here.
The last Target visit that we know of.
Yeah.
How many times have you been since then?
Several.
Yeah, once a week. But yeah, there's
Just to
Brentwood is
see.
great. There's some great apartments over there. So it's really difficult to say because again, it's the single life in St. Louis is a different area than the married or the engaged life.
Yeah. Let's see. Brentwood, single, and then Central West End, single, and then dating, and then now U City for engaged married life.
Yeah, and then the further west you go, the more attached you are.
Is that the progression?
I've heard Brooke walks through Target like Johnny Manziel. Just hands up, ready to go.
I don't know how much money you guys think I make, but it's not like that. I really do just like to go and just see, they like to stock up on things.
You like to
see the new inventory.
What's going on? I highly doubt that you go to a Target just to window shop.
Yeah, I do.
No way.
Totally.
I doubt it.
David's not listening.
said no.
Also, Randy,
nobody.
You missed the first couple steps in the cycle. You start in the county, then you move to the city, and then when you get married, you move back to the county. You move east, and then you move back west. It's the balance.
Yep. And welcome back, by the way. If you do take that job, welcome back to the STL, and hope you'll listen to us on the radio every day in addition to listening on the app. We appreciate you tuning in this morning.
Uncle Randy, I work in HR and I've discovered a senior director is committing fraud. I've not gotten along with this person and I'm sure he'll think it's retaliation. Any best way to get him to admit to it and make our termination case easier?
I would come with the receipts. If you have proof that he has committed fraud, just walk in and kind of do a Law and Order thing. And
With
ask,
the music?
Yeah, that'd be good. So you walk in, you get, and make sure that you have somebody else in addition to you, the HR person, have a person from management there, and ask him the question, did you do X? No. Well, then how do you explain this? Did you do Y? No. Well, how do you explain this? Yeah. And that's how you get him to admit it, because then he gets all shaken up. He's like, okay, I did it. It's like the closer. It's not Law and Order as much as it is the closer.
Yeah, that sounds like quite the dilemma.
Got to have the receipts, though.
You shouldn't feel like it's retaliation if they actually have done something wrong. Like if that person, it's not. You're not retaliating. You're responding to what they did that is stealing.
And your job is to protect your company in HR. So just make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row.
Uncle Randy, when the hell will the Cardinals wake up and stop batting Goldie second? He's the MVP.
Next year. Okay, so this year is a throwaway year, okay? Not throwaway, but they aren't going to win, okay? So get him as many at-bats as you can and try to enhance his career. But next year, when Mason Wynn is your leadoff hitter and Lars Nootbaar is your number 2 hitter, then you hit Goldie third, and then you might even hit Nolan Gorman, if he's healthy. He's dealing with something
What's
right.
wrong?
He's got a bad back.
When did that start?
About a week back.
Oh, shoot.
So,
but Nolan Gorman has been dealing. He's got a back issue as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You said Nolan Gorman. I thought you said Nolan Arenado.
Oh, Nolan Arenado. No,
Nolan Gorman.
No, Gorman 4th, Arenado 5th.
There's too many back injuries. That's my issue.
Make the rules.
That's why I came up with. Well, I didn't come up with it. Actually, it's a term. Lumbago.
Lumbago.
Sounds like a bagel.
You say lumbago. I say
It's like a
lumbago.
bagel.
Dear Uncle Randy, I'm a 71-year-old golfer with a heart condition, and sometimes I get a little fatigued when playing 18 holes. However, I still usually hit the ball as far as my younger playing partners.
All right.
Should I feel guilty for moving up to the senior tees?
Absolutely not. They're there for a reason.
There you go.
The senior tees are there to help you score better, and you are older, and just because you're stronger and you hit the ball farther doesn't mean you should give up the opportunity to score. Heck yeah. Why do you think Caitlyn Jenner did what Caitlyn Jenner did? To play out from the red tees. There's only one reason.
My jaw is on the floor.
I don't think you can say that.
I don't think that's the reason.
Say that.
don't think that's the only reason.
So you think it's a made-for-TV movie then?
I think.
God.
That's not the only Randy.
Randy, what you got next?
Randy.
Rock, what's next?
Randy,
just go. Rock, just go. Proceed. Rock, just go forward.
Next one.
Just keep
Next
going.
one.
Do not. Just go forward. Don't look at him. Look at the computer. Do not look at him. Turn right and look at the computer. Don't talk to him. Just go to the next one.
Oh, gosh.
Go ahead. Read it, please.
Dear Uncle Randy, should I tell this joke?
Oh, man.
If Carrie says no, then I would say
Just
no.
go
Do the
ahead,
right
man.
thing.
I think that's great advice.
Yes. That's the best advice you got
Tell
to
me
do.
you didn't laugh. Tell me you did not
I
laugh.
was waiting on Rock to go to the next question is what I was doing.
Is that it? Are you out of your questions?
No, I'm sure some people almost got in car crashes. Dear Uncle Randy.
Tease.
That was definitely had nothing to do with the previous topic or anything. Dear Uncle Randy, me and my wife are about to have our second kid, and our first kid's about to hit the age for schooling, and we have no idea whether to do public schooling or private schooling in the St. Louis area. What's your advice?
Public schooling in the St. Louis area is, in general, outstanding. Experienced both, was much happier in our personal situation with public schooling than private schooling. A lot of it depends on where you want your kids to wind up going to high school. But we were Parkway. Carrie, I know you and are having a great experience in Hazelwood. If you go to the Rockwood School District is great. If you go to Kirkwood, Webster, they're great. South County is the Oakville, Afton. I have had a great experience, and my kids had a great experience with the public schools in the St. Louis metro area.
Yeah, I think, for me, once I realized that I was paying the money that I could spend on college, I was like, I might want to save this. It just felt to me like if you live in an area where you have good schools, good high schools, that would be my suggestion. Find, the best schools in the city that you feel you would want as you said, the high school, the middle school that you want your kids to be raised in. And if you're able to live over there and be able to send your child to school there for free, then I would do that. If you can afford to send them to private school and that's what you choose to do, but I don't think you should be deciding whether or not to pay this school bill or keep the lights on.
And there are high schools in the St. Louis area that actually cost more than colleges.
Yes.
So you keep that in mind.
That's very interesting.
Absurd.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. You got one more?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Hey, Uncle Randy, is it a sign of an active imagination if you were the good guy and Ted Danson was the bad guy in my dream last night?
No.
If I was the good guy?
You were the good guy and Ted Danson was the bad guy.
Okay,
Ted Danson doesn't play a bad guy very often,
And
does he?
Randy was the good guy?
Yeah.
And Ted Danson was the bad guy?
Okay, so if it's Cheers Ted Danson, there's no way he could be the bad. Well,
I mean, spoiler, he runs the
ever.
bad place, but I mean,
Yeah.
I love that show.
sorry, spoiler alert.
Has he ever
Oh, yeah.
played?
I hope people have seen
I
that
don't
by
think he's
now.
ever played a bad guy.
He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he's like a fun character in that show, but I guess
I would
But he is
suggest
kind
he's
of
a bad guy.
He's a bad
Yeah.
guy in
to
the
answer
show.
the question, then, that
Just-
is the sign of an overactive imagination.
But that's a good thing, right?
It is, yeah. That's
Creativity
Good. Yeah. So
comes
what
with that.
show were we talking about? Wasn't he in
The
Community?
Good Place.
Okay.
The Good Place is.
The Good Place was
Yeah.
his more recent one, and,
Okay, I've
and
never
he was
seen that.
I
technically a
haven't
bad
seen
guy,
that
although
one
he
either.
was
You
a very
keep
fun bad.
ruining it.
Chevy
Oh, sorry,
Chase was
spoiler
in it,
alert. Yes,
Yeah, I
Chevy
think
Chase was Community.
Was it 3 Men and a Baby? 3 Men and a
He was a
Little
good
Lady?
guy there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's mostly a good guy.
Okay, well, then, yeah, because Ted and I, you know what? He is a jerk sometimes on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. He is. You're right. I forgot about real
Real
Ted
Ted.
dancing on Your Enthusiasm. I always forget about those ones.
Yeah. Okay, but
could see
yes, it is. To answer your question, that is absolutely the sign of an overactive imagination. But we appreciate it. I appreciate being in people's dreams. I think it's fun.
Oh,
Intriguing.
Yeah. Just right there.
yeah.
I think that's the first time we've got a
Tell me
text
more.
admitting that somebody had
Tell me more.
dreamt about you. I think that's the first one. that's the first.
Well, now hopefully we can get some more text ins of times that you've dreamt about Randy because he wants to know about it. Apparently,
I do want to know. Yeah, and Brooke doesn't want to know about your dreams about
she
her.
does not.
So don't text
Show
him.
us your face. You want to see my face?
Okay, I gotta check and see. Is Brooks' face on? Yeah, Brooks.
Show us your face.
Yeah, Brooks' face is on the YouTube right now.
I'm so glad.
So are they.
We have a bird watch next on 101 ESPN.
Hey everyone, it's Brooke here. This past winter, my father went through hip and then back surgery. After being active his whole life, biking and competing in triathlons, as he got older, the wear and tear led to constant pain and limited mobility. But finally, after getting surgery this past winter, he is back to moving around pain-free. He even visited recently and he was able to get around great. He says that he wishes he would have done it sooner. You might be in a similar situation, just continuing to put it off, but anyone who has suffered from serious back or joint pain knows how hard it can be to find lasting relief. Here's the thing though, you don't have to live in pain. You can find that relief at SSM Health Orthopedics. They are the experts at diagnosing and treating joint problems, offering many treatment options, including non-surgical techniques to find the best solution that works for you so that you can get back to doing the things that you love. So don't wait today. Visit SSM Health/Top Ortho. That is SSM Health/Top Ortho today for more information and to find lasting relief.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals with another win over the Oakland A's last night, 6-2. Dakota Hudson shoved 6 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He did allow 1 home run. Drew Verhagen, John King, and Jojo Romero, combined for 3 1/3 inning pitch, allowed just 1 hit and strike out 2 to close out that game for the Cardinals. They're back in action tonight, 5:45 first pitch. It'll be the lefty for the Cardinals, Matthew Liberatore, 2-4 on the season. season with a 5.72 ERA, facing off against the righty for the Oakland A's, Paul Blackburn. Blackburn on the season 2-3 with just under a 5 ERA. That is your Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff. Find your road and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Down to the field to give you the latest on your St. Louis Cardinals. This is Bird Watch on the opening drive.
The Cardinals have won 3 in a row. They'll take on the Oakland Athletics in the finale of a 3-game series tonight at the ballpark. And as Matthew Rocchio mentioned, Matthew Liberatore will start for the Cardinals. Time for the Bird Watch. And Brooke, let's get things started.
My Bird Watch, we're going to fly down to Memphis to check on Drew Rom, guys. Drew Rom with another fantastic performance last night. 6 scoreless innings, giving up just 1 hit while striking out 8. And 11 innings pitched so far for the Cardinals organization. He has only allowed 2 hits and has struck out 18. I think that he, of course, I don't think that they're going to bring him up just yet. Maybe he will be a part of that group. Remember that John Mozeliak mentioned in September we might see some of these guys come up here. But so far, he's looked great coming over to the Cardinals organization. And somebody that I think could really assert himself into those talks when we're looking at that possible 5th spot for next season.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's really good for him. I think it's really good for the Cardinals. We can talk about it later. I want to go back to that 3 starters comment that was made a few days ago from Mozeliak. Yeah, no, not right now. Why are you looking at me crazy? No, I don't want to do it right now. Oh, well, I'm still talking about Brooks' Bird Watch, brother. Let me finish my point. I ain't ready for mine. Give me a second.
I know.
What's going on here?
He was like, he said anyways. So
push the button.
And,
anyway, Sudi, what were you saying? You just want to circle back to the 3 pitchers.
I want to circle back to that at one point because they do have. I mean, you got Matthew Liberatore who's performed well. Dakota Hudson went well last night. You're talking about CD-ROM. Is that what we're calling him?
Yeah,
CD-ROM. He's performing well. Are the 3 starters outside of the organization? I guess that would be what we're.
Yeah, it's a good question.
It's another hieroglyphic or, something that we have to decipher, right? Which I kind of appreciate that Mozeliak sometimes gives us those little pieces.
Not so much.
No? Okay.
By the way, let me point out, in addition to CD-ROM, Jack Flaherty last night got rocked for the Orioles by the Padres. He allowed 4 hits and 3 walks, or 4 hits and 4 walks, 7 runs in 3 innings through 84 pitches and an earned run average up to 4.73. Just prisoner of the moment stuff with Flaherty. 3 innings, he allowed 7 earned runs. Meanwhile, he was beaten by Michael Wacha.
5 scoreless.
8-2 now. Yeah, 5 scoreless innings, 3 hits, and 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. And I think the 2019 Michael Wacha is very similar to the 2023 Jack Flaherty. I wonder if Flaherty will get any more than a 1-year contract in free agency. Wacha got 1 year and $3 million in free agency in his first year away from the Cardinals from the Mets.
Not what he was looking for.
No.
Yeah, and I feel like Flaherty would like that challenge too to prove that he deserves more.
Yeah, and both coming off of shoulder injuries, interestingly. All right, time for CD.
You can push the button now, sir. All right, my Bird Watch is going to be Tommy Edman. This month of August, he is batting .327, has an OPS of 1.05, has 4 home runs, 16 hits in those 13 games. And we've talked about, what position is he going to be next year if he continues to hit like this, which, I think he's doing a fantastic job. He's doing a really, really good job at the plate. And picking his times, what I do like, he's picking his times when he goes righty versus righty, which I think is awesome because a lot of those times he's actually getting hits. So it's something that he's seeing either in the pitcher, from the pitcher, or maybe it's just how he's feeling in that moment. He's doing a really good job of picking his places when he wants to do that. And I assume that he would be, if Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Carlson, if you don't trust them to stay healthy, I would assume that he's going to be your starting center fielder going into next year. And then you have to look at what we're going to do at second base. Is it Nolan Gorman or is it Brendan Donovan at second base? But him at center field, he may not have the strongest arm, but he is extremely quick gets a great jump on the ball, gets to balls in the gap, and that's why they have cutoff men. You throw it to them. You don't have to throw it as far as you can. So I like what he's been doing. I think he's doing a great job, and I want to see it continue.
Even with his baseball IQ, though, when we're talking about his arm strength, and everybody keeps on harping on that with Tommy Edman, it's just his baseball IQ, I feel like, is what really separates him. And the fact that he was able to take on this brand new role for him this year and do so well, I think says so much to his value to this team and this team moving forward.
Absolutely. And Kerry mentioned the cutoff man, who will be the shortstop next year, who throws 100 miles an hour.
There you go. You get it to him. Get it to that guy.
Yeah.
He'll throw it where you need to go.
Not a bad play. So, guys, you know that I've always liked Dakota Hudson. I've been disappointed by some of his performances, but I've always liked him because he won those 16 games, and he showed me something in 2019. Then he had the Tommy John and never really bounced back. One of the things about Dakota, though, even when he won the 16 games, he led the National League in walks. This year, Dakota Hudson, for a full season, is experiencing a career low in walks per 9 innings. When he won the 16 games, it was 4.4 walks per 9 innings. The following year, he only pitched 8 games. That was the COVID season, and it was 3.5 walks per 9. And then he barely pitched because of the Tommy John surgery in 2021, so I don't count that. And then last year he comes back, 27 games, and it was 3.9 walks per 9 innings. This year, 2.8 per 9 innings. His walks have come down, and that's really what's killed him in the past. If he has figured that part of it out, to not walk people, then he really can be a more than serviceable pitcher. He's got pitches, he's got the ability, and he's got the smarts to be a really good pitcher. If he can get that focus to not walk people and have that be consistent, he can be a really serviceable back of the rotation guy for you.
Yeah.
So, Dakota Hudson.
I like that. We talked about him yesterday. I think he's had 3 really good outings. It's going to be intriguing to see how these. I think it's between those 3 right now, and maybe Rom comes up and adds to that.
Those 3 being Hudson, Liberatore, Thompson,
and Zach Thompson, and then Rom, and then you also have, we talked about TK Roby, who just got traded over here as well. Those are some names that, going into spring training, it's going to be intriguing, which is why I said I want to dig into that addition of 3 starters. Is it 3 starters outside of the organization, or is it 3 guys that we have in the minors that aren't on the current roster right now that we're thinking about bringing up? And that's what the wordplay and the wordsmith.
Yes.
It's what he does. This is what's done very well. Wordsmith. I said 3 starters, 3 guys.
Yeah.
I got 3 guys.
We just have to decipher between that. I think with Dakota, and with Dakota too, it's just going to be interesting because what version of Dakota you're going to get. Because right now you like what you see. You mentioned CD, the progression that he's made, especially in these past 3 starts. The walks are down, the strikes are up, but we also have seen where walks have been a big issue for him. So is this going to be the sustainable version of Dakota Hudson, or is it just going to be what we've kind of seen in recent years where it's up and down?
His motion looks suspiciously like Justin Verlander's.
Yeah. In the face, too, right?
If people haven't seen on the X, then you have to go check that out.
Yeah. Some people complaining that the A's are a double-A team. Yeah, sure they are.
They aren't great.
No, they are, but he beat them.
He did, as he should. What you should do when teams are, that's what you're supposed to do,
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that 33 teams have failed to do so this year, right?
Yeah.
So he's got that going for him, which is nice. And I like I say, I like him, and he didn't walk guys. All right, there you have it. That's your Birdwatch here on 101 ESPN. Coming up, get your text into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646, 314-399. Yo-ho! Take it or leave it next time, 101 ESPN.
The baseball season is heading into the backstretch. Get into the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000.
Yep, that's $1,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. Just go to FanDuel.com/drive to join today. And you all, I told you, watch out for the Texas Rangers. Their last 10 games, they're 8-2. The addition of Max Scherzer could be the difference.
And I also think for the Central Division that the Brewers are going to be able to continue to pull through and come out on top.
And don't sleep on the Phillies winning the National League pennant again. The addition of Michael Lorenzen with Taijuan Walker and Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler, they can pitch. And don't be surprised to see them back in the hunt for the National League pennant.
Don't miss your chance to get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel today. Just go to FanDuel.com/drive to sign up.
FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. 21 plus, present in Illinois. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued is non-withdrawable bonus bet that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Time for Take It or Leave It.
Want to say something? Put it out there. If you like it, you can take it. If you don't, send it right back.
Get your text into 314-399-9646 and give us your Take It or Leave It.
Brought to you by Gloria Lou Realty. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com and start packing.
That's my final offer. Take it or leave it.
Time for Tioli. 314-399-9646. 314-399-YO-HO. And it is time for Tioli. All right, kids, take it or leave it. And I have thrown this out earlier this morning, and I know it was the Oakland Athletics, but Dakota Hudson will be in the Cardinal rotation to start the 2024 campaign.
Take it.
Will be in the rotation?
In the rotation.
What about how do Libby and Drew Rom fit into this equation?
That's a great question. Our buddy Greg Amsinger says that Libby's going to be the next Andrew Miller.
He did say that. He did. I'm not going to take it. I still think that maybe this is very nice. This is very enticing and seducing, these past 3 outings from Dakota Hudson since returning from the injured list. But I'm not completely sold just yet.
Randy, are you taking questions on top of your Tioli?
Sure.
Is it a 5-man rotation?
Yes.
Leave it.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. What do you need it to be?
Oh, as I say,
if it's that mysterious
six-man rotation they always talk about.
We did have 6 starting pitchers, CD.
Yeah, and 10 options, so you got to find a way to put them.
We're going to have Ohtani here and a 6-man rotation. Now I get it.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works, Randy.
Okay.
In order to do that, you gotta spend some money. I don't think that's gonna happen.
A lot of money.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe, CD.
Oh, we're gonna get everybody in St. Louis to pitch in, then, aren't we?
Yes.
Can you do that? What if you could do that? That wouldn't work. I don't think that works that way. It just
You buying somebody
ticket prices.
You buying somebody a house in Florida?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
No. So I'm looking at the MLS stats for Inter Miami since Messi joined the team and before Messi joined the team. I believe they have 28 goals in 23 games. Since he's joined the team, they have 22 goals in 6 games.
Pretty good.
Take it or leave it. Messi is the greatest mid-season addition in sports history.
Oh, wow.
In sports history. So you're looking at overall impact, team impact. Where are they in the standings right now?
They haven't got back to league.
Yeah, league hasn't started, so they're still at the very bottom.
But in sports history, this team was
see the rest of the
season. They were below the basement, and they're going to be fighting for wins and fighting to climb back up in the standings when the season play begins again.
It's hard to dispute.
I got one for you.
Who you got?
I mean, he's not the greatest in the world, but the Blues were in last, and then Jordan Binnington showed up, and all of a sudden they were raising a cup over their head.
Yeah.
Just saying, Kerry Davis. Saw it here. I mean, you were talking about going from worst to first in mid-season.
Yeah.
That was
right to the championship.
And they won.
Okay.
Stood on his head.
You're gonna go.
I'll leave it then.
You're gonna leave it?
Yeah. Okay. There have been some other great ones, like when CC Sabathia went from the Indians to the Brewers. It was the Indians, and now it's the Guardians, obviously. That was a pretty good one, and he put them into a great spot. There have been some really good. Randy Johnson, when he went to Houston for that time after Seattle, was really impressive. But it's hard to argue with that.
28 in 23 games, and now they got 23 in 6 games.
It's amazing.
That is absurd.
Yeah.
So last night I sent you guys, there's a great, and I put this on the X machine as well, formerly known as Twitter. There was a great interview that Matt Holliday did recently where he kind of spoke about everything, just his decision on, just I guess not, I wouldn't say staying away from coaching because he's still coaching, but he talked about that. He talked about the Cardinals this season, but I found something that he said very interesting. So take it or leave it, guys. Tink Hintz, and he mentioned some other names like Jordan Walker and Mason Wentz, some young guys, but he mentioned Tink Hintz as being somebody who's possibly going to be an impact player for the Cardinals next season. Take it or leave it, he will be.
I'll take that.
I'll take it.
Yeah. They need bullpen help, and he can, at the very least, I think he will be an impact guy because he's
for next season.
Really
I find that very intriguing.
Is he in the bullpen, or is he going to work his way to be a starter?
I think that he's got to start in the bullpen. I think they'll probably take that Kerry Davis approach, have him in the bullpen for a year.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, and then give him 7th innings, and then 8th innings, and then eventually 9th innings. I would like that a lot.
It is a great interview, by the way.
Tune in. Just find it on Brooke Grimsley's X page. Matthew, what do we got?
If you want to have sunshine and lollipops ready after this one, take it or leave it. If the Cardinals go 11-3 to finish August, they will be back in the wild card picture at 4 to 5 games back.
I thought that was it.
No, just
it kept going and going.
They'll be back. They'll be in the wild card picture 4 to 5 games
Once
back.
I heard 11-3, I was going to have to leave that.
That'll be 65 and 69. And right now, the third wild card team is 63 and 58. That's the Marlins. I'm going to leave it.
Yeah, I don't know what. Have they gone 11-3 at any point this season?
No, but they do have a bad schedule coming up. But those other teams are saying, well, we've got a bad schedule coming up.
Exactly.
Right?
Take it or leave it. The Cardinals opening day starter next March at Dodger Stadium is not Aaron Nola.
I would leave that.
Oh! Okay.
You think it's Aaron Nola?
I think it's Aaron Nola.
You're gonna have
Although if Julio Urias is making his triumphant return to Dodger Stadium, that won't break my heart either.
As your ace?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Got to get an ace from somewhere, or at least ace-like stuff. Potential.
They're going to get 3 guys. They're just not on the roster.
We tend to, because we're so focused on Ohtani, obviously, and Nola and Snell, we have a tendency to overlook that Julio Urias in his career is 59-23 with a 3.04 career average, earned run average in 8 years. He has, since he became a full-time starter, gone 20-3 with a 2.96, 17-7 with a 2.16. This year, injuries, but 10-6 with a 4.35. He has been dynamic, and he strikes guys out, and he takes the ball. 195 strikeouts in 185 innings in 21, 166 Ks in 175 last year, and then a strikeout per inning this year.
So if it was between Nola and Urias?
Well, the thing is, Urias
is going to be cheaper.
He just turned 27, left-handed. And if he is, all things being equal, if he is cheaper, if you're going to give somebody a 7-year contract, I'd rather give it to the 27-year-old rather than the 31-year-old.
Take it or leave it. Tyler O'Neill will extend his Busch opening day home run streak in 2024 to 5 in a row.
Leave it. Well, who did the Cardinals
there you go.
play?
Thank you, sir.
I think the bigger thing is just whether you think Tyler O'Neill is going to be in the opening day.
Who did the Cardinals play?
Is it Baltimore? No, that was this year.
Who they need? No, they played Toronto this year. The home opener.
They open up on the West Coast with 2 series, and then Cardinals home opener April 4th against the Marlins.
Oh,
okay,
so
I'll take it.
Take it.
Yep.
Miami coming to town.
Yep. And Tyler O'Neill playing for Skip.
Yeah.
Probably play 158 games and like 45 homers.
It's warm there.
Yeah.
You have to worry about
hamstrings are
cold.
warm.
Yeah, entire time.
Okay, fine. Take it or leave it. King of Queens was a top 3 sitcom.
I was hoping you would read this. I think this person, take it or leave it, he wrote or she wrote for King of Queens. This is the second or third time. That's the second or third time that they've.
It's top 3.
I wouldn't say top 3.
It's not even. No.
It is a good.
No.
It is good.
It is a good. I do enjoy it.
I wouldn't say top 3.
I do enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
I never saw it once.
Really?
Wow. You were never. I mean, Ace, you were on drive.
No, it's pretty good.
You were on drive time for all those years.
It is pretty good. You can watch the reruns.
I have.
During drive time.
Yeah. Since, and this sounds bad, but since probably Seinfeld ended, I have not seen sitcoms. List sitcoms for me in the last 20 years.
Last 20 years?
Last 20 years. What have you, since Seinfeld ended?
That I had to watch?
No, that you've seen that you like. Like, I never saw 2.5 Men. Never saw King of Queens.
How I Met Your Mother?
Never saw it.
New Girl?
Never saw it.
I like New Girl.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Never saw it.
Those are more recent
that's a good one.
It was good.
And I'm sure they were funny. I just didn't see them.
That 70s Show?
Never saw it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Not anymore. Unfortunately, it's tainted.
Yeah.
It is. I can't watch it. I'm trying to think of other sitcoms.
Everybody Loves Raymond?
Everyone loves Raymond.
Good.
Did you ever watch Spin City? That's earlier. That's that's more late 90s too.
Arrested Development? That's a good one.
I watched that. Yeah, on net. Did it go to Netflix?
It had a.
I watched it when it got to Netflix. Yeah, that was good. That was very funny.
Drew Carey Show?
Never saw it.
Oh wow.
I've only seen 1 or 2 episodes.
Friends.
I've only seen a couple of episodes.
See, the Friends was at the same time as Seinfeld, so The Office you can't get away from.
Modern Family.
Okay, there you go. I saw Modern Family.
Frasier.
New Girl.
Somebody throws out Frasier. The Office.
Frasier was that in that time period too, right? Where because that was right. That was a spinoff of Cheers.
Yes.
So I was watching more in the late 90s. But
that's a good era.
Yeah, it was really, really good. But since like the turn of the century, no, I have not watched a lot of sitcoms, and I feel like I missed out.
Can I say the one that had Elliot Gould in it?
What is it?
Not Elliot Gould. That had the Goulds and the one that's got the Creek one. I can say it, right?
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, I can say it. We can say it, right? Because it's part of the name, right?
Yeah, it's spelled.
I didn't want to be the one who said it
differently.
When that was promoted so heavily, I think I watched one. But then I just never got going with it.
It's really good.
Parks and Recreation?
So my kids are huge Parks and Recreation. So through osmosis, I'm walking through the house. I've seen Parks and Rec.
Oh, The Office.
Yeah, The Office I can't get away from.
I've never seen it.
My son and his
You've
girlfriend.
never seen The Office?
Yeah. My son and his
love
girlfriend
it.
are addicted to The Office.
I
mean, they've got every Office.
I just
thing.
ran through Modern Family as like my background show over the last like 2 or 3 months. Fantastic.
Yeah, pretty funny show. All right, thank you, Matthew.
Thank you, Randy.
And so, I have to abstain from the King of Queens decision here. Is that what we said? We said King of Queens. That was the original.
It's not top 3.
Okay.
I mean, it's just the best parts of King of Queens were literally parts they just stole from Seinfeld because it's just like let Frank yell.
Oh, okay. Oh, Curb Your Enthusiasm, by the way. Curb Your Enthusiasm is
what's the lady's
great.
name?
Leah Remini.
Yeah.
The best work
Yes.
she's done is exposing Scientology.
The best work she's done is that.
I'm just saying.
She has done that.
She has.
Coming up here on 101 ESPN, to get that number 1 started in a trade, do the Cardinals have to trade Nolan Gorman? That's coming your way on 101 ESPN. Hey, I want you to improve your golf game, and the best way to do that is by getting a Celebrity Green from Clubhouse Turf here in St. Louis. Clubhouse Turf is the exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens, and what they'll do is install a beautiful synthetic putting green in your backyard. You can practice every day, every night. You finish dinner, go out and practice your putting and your chips and your bunker shots and improve your short game dramatically. The number to call, 314-834-2343, or you can find them on the web at clubhouseturf.com. And one of the cool things about Clubhouse Turf is that in addition to those incredible celebrity golf greens, Clubhouse Turf offers a complete line of synthetic turf installations, including sport turf and playgrounds, pet turf and lawn turf. If you're looking for an artificial turf for your yard, well, Clubhouse Turf is the company to get in touch with here in St. Louis. Max Homa was in the hunt last week. He has a celebrity green in his backyard. John Rahm has one in his backyard. If you want to improve your golf game dramatically, get what they got, a celebrity green from Clubhouse Turf here in St. Louis. Again, 314-834-2343 or on the web at clubhouseturf.com.
The Cardinals went into this season thinking they had enough, but it was all internal. And I think you have to make sure you bring in some people from outside the organization because the dynamics of pitching is changing where we used to be a pitch-to-contact team. Just hit it on the ground. We have plenty of guys that can catch it. Well, swing and miss is back, and you might want to have 2 or 3 of those guys around who can get you a strikeout or get them to hit it on the ground to a good defender.
That's our buddy Mike Claiborne yesterday here on the opening drive on 101 ESPN. And obviously the Cardinals need pitching. And John Mozeliak has said he can't achieve his offseason goals without getting a free agent pitcher. But the Cardinals will also try to get a top-of-the-line starting pitcher with a trade. And with the injuries to Tyler O'Neill and Dylan Carlson, is there any place else for the Cardinals to go to get a premier guy except for trading Nolan Gorman?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he is at the top of everyone's wish list. If you're looking at the Cardinals roster and you're running down the list of fielders, guys that position players that you feel like you would want on your team, Nolan Gorman, if you tell them, Nolan Arenado off limits, Paul Goldschmidt off limits, now take your pick. And maybe you say Jordan Walker is off limits because he's a few years younger than Nolan Gorman and more athletic than Nolan Gorman is. I think Nolan Gorman is where you start. You don't start with Tyler O'Neill because every other team has access to the internet, has access to all of the information about injuries and inability to play. You don't start with Dylan Carlson because of the same thing. You look at Nolan Gorman, maybe Brendan Donovan, but now he's injured for the rest of the season. And maybe Lars Nootbaar. But Nolan Gorman is going to be at the top of that list if you say 3 of those guys, we're not moving these 3.
I think what the Cardinals need to do, because of the way they're approaching this, I think Graceffo has to be in the mix. Graceffo has big-time stuff. He could wind up being Alcantara, but he could also wind up being Jack Flaherty or Alex Reyes. You never know. So here's a guy that is a top 100 prospect. He's been among the Cardinals' top 5 prospects for a couple of years now. A team trading a pitcher is going to want a pitcher back in return. Hopefully, and I just look at it from a different perspective because I want that left-handed pop that Gorman provides for us. Hopefully, Graceffo could be the kingpin of a trade where you add in other items.
And who would be the position player you think that they would want with that? Maybe a Dylan Carlson, because remember, they floated Dylan Carlson's name out during the trade deadline because there was reports linking him to the Yankees, and the Cardinals were reportedly looking for a starting pitcher in return. Obviously, there wasn't enough to get out of theirs. So do you see Dylan Carlson being a part of maybe that Graceffo package?
And maybe Carlson or Edman. And I know how much the Cardinals like Edman, but this is a puke point type trade, right? So think about it from this perspective. If you trade Carlson, Edman plays center field. If you trade Edman, Carlson plays center field, and Brendan Donovan is your second baseman. If you trade Edman, Brendan Donovan is your second baseman.
Well, and also, what have we talked about, too? We talked about it yesterday with Michael Gersh basically saying that they see Victor Scott as a possible center fielder of the future. And I was just thinking about this. What does this position mean for Tommy Edman? Because if you have Mason Wynn coming up, we're talking about him being a possible impact player, and everybody's excited to see him soon. He's going to be your shortstop, right? Tommy Edman, obviously we know, can play second base, but who else do they have playing second base? That would be Nolan Gorman. I know that they're comfortable having him as their DH too. And then your center fielder possibly being Victor Scott, who knows when. Where does that leave Tommy Edman in the big picture of not just 2024, but also moving forward for the Cardinals?
Well, that's why I think Wilson Contreras playing catcher is the most important piece to all of this, because if he's not catching, then he's DHing, which means Nolan Gorman is playing second base or he's not playing, and then Tommy Edman is not playing or he's playing second base. You have to be able to put Wilson Contreras at catcher, and then on the games where he's not, where you decide to give him an off day or you allow him to DH, then maybe Nolan Arenado gets that day off, or maybe Paul Goldschmidt gets that day off, and now you can put Nolan Gorman at one of those spots. There are ways to get everyone enough games in those positions, but it starts with Wilson Contreras being your everyday catcher in order for that to take place. If that's not taking place, then I think it just messes everything up in terms of the lineup and who's playing, who's not, who gets more opportunities and who doesn't.
The other day, former MLB general manager Jim Bowden of SiriusXM MLB Network Radio was on with BK and Ferrario and was asked about this very subject, about trading Gorman for pitching.
I will listen on everybody. Right? That's what I have to do. I mean, you can't have untouchables when you're in that job. So, you know, what starter can I get for him? Right? I mean, if I could get your Logan Gilbert, Gorman's gone. What time's the press conference? Can I get Kirby for him? Straight up, what time's the press conference? You got to tell me what the return is going to be. I mean, I like Gorman. I think he's a 40 home run bat. When he gets to his prime years at age 25, I think you're going to get 40 bombs from him. And I like having that. I mean, are you going to extend Goldie, or do you have Goldie just one more year? I prefer to keep Walker's still my favorite player there. I know he hasn't lived up to what he's going to do because he's going to do it next year instead. But he's going nowhere. I don't want to trade Gorman if I can keep him. And by the way, I don't even want to trade Carlson unless I have to. And I'm afraid they're going to trade him, and it's going to be like Arozarena and Adolis Garcia, and it's going to come back and haunt you. But I think they're going to trade him for pitching in this offseason, and I think that'll be a mistake because I like Carlson, but you got to play him every day. You have to have confidence to play him every day, which obviously doesn't exist, and he hasn't put up numbers, which I get. But the talent is still there with Dylan Carlson.
Availability. That's the thing that we've talked about with Dylan Carlson. He has gone to somebody that we say cold dead hands to that they're willing to even float his name out with trade talks. I think Nolan Gorman is very interesting because we've talked about these back issues. If you guys want to make your joke.
How long have you had that, Brooke?
About a week back.
Hey, there we go.
I knew that I would have to face it by bringing it up. Just playing devil's advocate here, do you worry that these back issues with Nolan Gorman are going to continue and we're going to see him in a similar situation with Dylan Carlson where we're seeing these constant injuries and you wonder if you should have moved him sooner? Yes. Just playing devil's advocate.
Absolutely. You think about that, especially if the back issues will preclude him from being able to play second base 130 times. And I don't think he's ever going to be a great second baseman. I think he's really improved a lot, and I think he's gotten maybe to average. He has a chance to be average at second base, but his range isn't going to increase to the level where he plays the position like Tommy Edman does. So, yes, I would be concerned, but I'm more concerned because I've seen what happens when he hits the ball and it goes far and he hits it hard. I'm more concerned about having him do that for somebody else.
He does do that very well. The thing is, when you listen to Bowden talk about Dylan Carlson, he has had opportunities. He's just gotten hurt. He was at one point he was playing really well, and then he sprained his ankle coming out of the batter's box. Like there's nothing I can do as a manager, as a front office guy, if you can't stay healthy. If things like that harm you, or what's hurting right now? It's not his lat. What is it for him? Oblique. Yeah. For him right now. So if it's something that it's hard to decipher what causes guys to get injured, often injured. It's nothing that you're doing as a front office, as a manager, that you're going about the rigors of the season. And if this guy can't stay healthy, I think that's the only thing that has prevented Dylan Carlson from being an everyday player is his inability to stay healthy. That ball in center field that I thought he should have caught a couple of weeks ago didn't help with Miles Michaelis. Yep. That didn't help. But, he has potential to be very good. You can't let that handcuff you in any trade scenarios if you're the Cardinals because you haven't seen enough. If he goes somewhere and becomes elite, you can say, hey, we gave him enough opportunities, unlike what you did for Randy Arozarena. Those two scenarios are not the same.
No, they aren't. And right now you've got Carlson at 1,300 Major League at-bats. He turns 25 in October. He's played 4 years at the Major League level, and especially after finishing third in Rookie of the Year, in terms of games played, he just hasn't been there for you. 128 last year, 76 this year. So you're right. The most important ability is availability, and like Bowden said, he thinks that's the guy they're going to target to trade, and there is some value there. I did think it was interesting, though, that Bowden likes Gilbert. I'm not surprised he likes Kirby, who's an all-star, but he likes Logan Gilbert that much that he says Gorman for Gilbert wins the press conference. And I just keep looking at these young pitchers with their Tommy Johns.
And then you get concerned.
Yep.
And rightfully so, because it's such a major gamble. And that's the position the Cardinals are in, though. You have to do something different organizationally because of this season. This season cannot happen again. And you have to, if you're going to keep Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt here, then you might have to make some painful trades that will haunt you for years and years. And Nolan Gorman and probably Dylan Carlson will be in that category.
It's going to be interesting to see what direction the Cardinals go. And, if the painful trade is Nolan Gorman, but if you decided that Paul Goldschmidt could be traded, then if you could come to terms with that, then that would alleviate a lot of issues. If you were able to come to terms with that, I don't think that they should. I don't think that they will. But I also don't know that a 37, soon to be 37-year-old playing, every day is the right way to go as well, because eventually he's going to slow down. He has not yet. He's performing great. I think he's going to perform great next year, maybe even the year after that. But if you're looking 3-4 years down the line, how does that impact this roster?
I don't think as long as he's under contract here with that no trade that Goldie is going anywhere. And he's an interesting guy because he probably had more value at the trade deadline than he will in the offseason, because he would have been available for a team for 2 pennant races rather than just one. And the contract is up, and as you mentioned, CD, he's getting older. And I'm guessing that his market value, Goldie's market value, while not low, because he did win an MVP last year, is probably not what it would have been had he been amenable to a trade, and you would have put him on the market at the trade deadline. That's today's Fresh Take here. Let me get just a quick yes or no. October, the White Sox come and say, I'll give you Dylan Cease for Nolan Gorman. Yes or no?
Yes.
I would have to say yes.
I'm doing yes, too.
Because you have to.
Yep. Hard to do, but I'm doing yes. Matthew, you aboard there?
Yeah. And in fact, I'm cool with all the names he named as like
Shane McClanahan?
No.
I'll take Gilbert and Kirby. I'll take the risk.
Okay.
Has Urias had a Tommy John yet?
I think he did, yeah.
He had one when he was super young, didn't he? Okay, then we're good.
Good. NFL news and notes coming your way next on 101 ESPN.
You might have heard Doug Voss and Safe Money Radio. His shows have been on.
Looking forward to having our friends from Fenton Bar and Grill stop by later today. Matthew and CD have both ordered some of the best trashed wings in St. Louis. They're going to be delicious. Brooke has ordered the Southwest wrap, and it's going to be fantastic. I have one of their delicious burgers on the way, and if you're looking for the perfect lunch spot on this beautiful day in St. Louis, then you need to head on over to the Fenton Bar and Grill on Rudder Road in Fenton and check out their patio, and you will be served by the sweetest, nicest people, including Alicia Alicia, who I believe is going to stop by here, along with Kelly, who's great, and Megan and Chuck, the manager, the whole gang over there at the Fenton Bar and Grill. They're exquisite. They're great people with great food and a great vibe at the Fenton Bar and Grill. You will truly enjoy being there. Huge sports fans with great food and the best trash wings in St. Louis. Easy to get to. All you need to do is go to the soccer park and follow the road to Rudder Road, and you will make your way to the Fenton Bar and Grill. I love it. I try to make it there at least once a week. And for a business lunch, a lunch with the fellas, maybe a great dinner tonight, just a place to watch the game. It's the Fenton Bar and Grill. Time for some NFL news and notes here on 101 ESPN. Jonathan Taylor, I think he's holding in now, guys. He was holding out. Now he has returned to Colts camp, but he's on the PUP list. He had ankle surgery during the offseason. He's still unhappy with his contract, still wants to play elsewhere, but at least he's shown up in camp. And their general manager, Chris Ballard, said, hey, we can't do anything until the guy's healthy.
Well, I mean, that's the smart way to go about it. Initially, they said there was reports about his back, which he said didn't happen at all.
No, it didn't happen a week back.
Yeah, it didn't happen a week back at all. And so it's his ankle, which I believe he had surgery on and is rehabbing. That's the best way to go about it. If you're disgruntled, it used to be guys used to hold out, right? Mm-hmm. They used to not show up to camp. Zach Martin did it a couple of weeks ago. He just got restructured his deal. But guys used to do it all the time where I'm not showing up, but it costs you money. It costs you a lot of money, especially if you're under contract. And so guys started saying, you know what, I'll come to practice. I'll show up. I just ain't going to practice. And so it's hard for medical staff to decipher if a guy is really hurt or if they are, just saying that so that they don't have to practice. And I think that's the best way to go about it. Hopefully this deal gets done. I think Jim Irsay, put his foot in his mouth by making that statement. No one was even talking to you, Jim. You didn't have to say anything. No one asked. Right. And so you just decided to say something about the running back situation, I guess forgetting that you had one of the best running backs in the league, and he wants to get paid at some point as well.
He wants to be gruntled.
Yeah, exactly. Not disgruntled. He wants to be gruntled. I like that, Randy.
And what do you make about Anthony Richardson, who was obviously the number 4 overall pick in the 2023 NFL draft, being named the Colts starting quarterback? He said he was honestly even shocked.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I guess that's just how he is. He seems like a humble kid, a humble young man that just shows up to work and doesn't expect anything except for what he earns, in which if you're a young football player, especially a young quarterback, that's what you want. That's the mindset you want to have. And so I don't think anyone else was surprised that he was named the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts because, as you said, he was drafted 4th overall. He has all these gifts, all of this talent. Will that lead to wins? Probably not. I don't think they have a good enough roster around him right now, but he's going to make some eye-popping plays, some plays that make you say, wow, because he does have the arm strength and he does have the ability to do so.
I think that's the thing that's so intriguing about the Colts going into this season is there's so many question marks surrounding them. I don't know what to expect because last season I was expecting a lot, and that didn't pan out well.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to expect this season going in with them.
Well, Jonathan Taylor getting hurt, I think, had a lot to do with that. When you don't have somebody like him to hand the ball off to over and over and over again, it makes it difficult to have success. And so they have been running through quarterbacks for a while. When did Andrew Luck leave?
I think it's 7 consecutive different years with different starting quarterbacks.
That is ridiculous for a franchise to have to go through all that. All because Andrew Luck decided, you know what, I don't want to get beat up anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And so I'm going to walk away. And so the Colts have been scuffling, trying to find anybody to replace him since that time. So it's they just don't have enough around them,
Matt Ryan,
I think, to be successful.
Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett. They had a Luck year, somebody else, then Luck, and then Brissett, and then this will be the 7th year in a row because I think you had Rivers, Ryan, and now Anthony Richardson. This is pretty funny from Ravens camp. Marlon Humphreys, a pretty good cornerback, said Odell Beckham Jr. has, quote, done some kind of bad stuff to me in practice. That's what you want to hear if you're a Ravens fan, though.
It is. And the fact that I keep hearing people saying, you know, Odell he's washed, he's past his prime. He's had a couple of knee surgeries, yes. But I need people to remember the last game you watched him in, which was the biggest game of the year, the Super Bowl. That man was well on his way to being the MVP of the Super Bowl. It wouldn't have been anybody else. It was him and only him. He was playing at an elite level, and this is who he is. He has been a star since he's come into the league, and if you think that he's going to go to Baltimore, play with Lamar Jackson, play in an offense where you got a quarterback that can get him the ball in the manner. And he played with Baker Mayfield, who couldn't get him the football.
Didn't want to get him the football.
And then he went to St. Louis. Then he went to Los Angeles and performed at the level that he was. And everyone, well, maybe it was Baker. This man is a ball player, and he is going to be fun to watch with the Baltimore Ravens.
And by the way, Lamar Jackson said he's a lot faster than people give him credit for. A lot faster.
He's going to be good.
Jamar Chase, did you guys see what happened on social media? So he did his Mount Rushmore of wide receivers, okay?
No, didn't see that.
I think we can already think of some names, but did you guys see who he named? So
I did not.
Calvin Johnson, Antonio Brown, Cooper Kupp, Jerry Rice. His Mount Rushmore for wide receivers.
They are so young, and sometimes
That's what I thought. I just thought young when I heard that, right?
I mean, Jerry Rice is you don't have Randy Moss.
That's what Randy Moss, yes.
Like, you don't have
Terrell Owens.
T.O.?
Yeah.
I think the receiver list is probably one of the easiest to do. You put Cooper Kupp over your own boy in Justin Jefferson?
I was wondering about that.
Come on, man. And I love Cooper Kupp, but I'm taking Justin Jefferson.
I was surprised. I was very surprised by
Larry
that
Fitzgerald
list.
or Cooper Kupp?
They are. Randy.
Marvin Harrison or Cooper Kupp?
Marvin Harrison. I'm probably taking Larry as well.
I'm taking Larry.
I think Cooper is phenomenal.
He is.
But when you get the ball thrown to you 175 times a season, you're going to have 113 catches. It's just bound to happen.
No Andre Johnson on the list.
No, Andre Johnson, I would take Cooper Kupp over him.
Yeah,
But
so Mount Rushmore.
Larry doesn't get enough credit. Not nearly enough.
No. I think I would have a different Mount Rushmore than him.
Yeah, mine would be Jerry, T.O., Randy.
How do you feel about Antonio Brown being in that discussion?
Yeah, listen, despite everything else, I don't think he's Mount Rushmore, but had he continued to play, he could have been, top 2 or 3 all time. I think Jerry is number 1 regardless.
Yeah. But, by the way, Isaac Bruce is still 5th all time in yards.
Damn right.
I don't know who my 4th would be. I would have to. Calvin Johnson doesn't. It's not disappointing.
Don Hudson. There's some pretty good guys that played in an era where they didn't throw the ball nearly as much. And we tend to leave them out. Swan and Stallworth were both really, really good. Mel Gray here was really, really good. Roy, I could easily make a case to put Roy Green on a Mount Rushmore in terms of his ability. Darryl Green, Hall of Fame cornerback, said Roy Green was the biggest problem that he had to deal with. But you can put Drew Pearson on that list. You can put Michael Irvin on that list. I mean, there's a lot of guys. It's tough. It really is.
It is. It is really tough.
James Lofton. James Lofton was a stud. John Jefferson with the Chargers, with Eric Coryell. Wes Chandler.
Larry Fitzgerald is second all-time in receiving yards.
And receptions.
That's crazy.
What's crazy is we've said all these names, and yet when he was asked about leaving off Randy Moss and Terrell Owens, he goes, if the list could be bigger, I'd have those two right next after those guys. Plus Ocho would be there in my top two. And I'm like, are you just pandering to Bengals fans at this point, my guy? Y'all just named 20 receivers, and I don't think anybody said Chad Johnson / Ocho Cinco.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody is entitled to their opinions, right?
And we're entitled to make fun of bad ones.
I think I would go Jerry, Larry, Isaac, Moss.
Chris Carter. I mean, so many.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of guys. I don't know. So. That 3 for me is easy, though. That 4th is going to be a tough one.
You guys are going to put
Jerry, Larry, and...
Jerry, T.O., and Randy.
Okay.
Jerry, Randy, T.O.
Tim Brown was really good.
Yeah.
None of the guys who have touched 1,900 yards? Or neither of the guys who have touched 1,900 yards? Calvin and Cooper?
Calvin was great. Julio Jones was great. Cooper Kupp is he's unbelievable.
I'm going to go 4A and 4B. Larry Fitzgerald and Isaac Bruce.
Yeah.
There you go. You get 5 people.
There we go. That's good enough.
Fast lane Mount Rushmore. There you go.
Yeah. Well, hey, we almost had another president on Mount Rushmore.
Oh, we almost did.
Yeah. So
just going to carve himself up there.
Yeah.
Himself.
Yeah. The fight is coming your way next on 101 ESPN. Hey, if you're a homeowner and you're thinking about selling now, why risk working with just any agent hoping to find the perfect buyer? Get to know Gloria Liu, because Gloria already has buyers, and she also has cash buyers who are going to buy your home as is with no hassles, no repairs, and you even choose your closing date. It's pretty cool. And Gloria's able to guarantee the sale of your home because she already has those buyers in place. Over 20 years of buyers in an exclusive database that are looking to buy in your neighborhood and in your price range. That's how Gloria nets you the most money and creates the highest demand, many times with multiple offers, and that means more money in your pocket. Gloria sells faster and for more when compared to your average agent. And she's not your average agent. She's St. Louis local real estate authority with 20 years of experience, hundreds of homes sold in just the past 12 months, and the only agent I'd trust to sell my home. It's Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or find her on the web at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
This is Rocc with your Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals yesterday with a big win over the A's in game number 2 of their 3-game series. It was a 6-2 win. Dakota Hudson with a fantastic start, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. He did allow a home run late in the game, though, but that was not enough again as the Cardinals top the Oakland A's. Tonight, back in action for a 5:45 first pitch. It'll be Matthew Liberatore, the lefty, facing off against Paul Blackburn, a righty for the A's. Blackburn on the season 2-3 with a 4.52 ERA and a 1.55 WHIP. That is your Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
ESPN. Welcome to the fight. In the red corner, Average Joe Listener. And in the blue corner, the undisputed king of morning drive. Please welcome Randy Carricker.
Welcome back to the opening drive. I'm Kerry Davis, joined by Brooke Grimsley, and it is time for the fight. And our fighter today is Ricky. Ricky, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Doing wonderful. Are you ready to take on Randy Carricker?
As ready as I'm going to be.
All right, here we go. Albert Pujols didn't play more than 62 games at first base until taking over full-time at the position in 2004. Who started the majority of the games at first base for the Cardinals in 2003? Was it Tino Martinez, Rafael Palmeiro, or Eduardo Perez?
I'm going to go Rafael Palmeiro.
Last night, Nolan Arenado became the latest Cardinal to tally 3 straight seasons of 25-plus homers. Who was the last to do it? Was it Matt Holliday, Jim Edmonds, or Albert Pujols?
Matt Holliday.
There are only 4 franchises that have won 9 World Series championships: the Yankees, Cardinals, Red Sox, and who else? Is it the San Francisco/New York Giants, the Oakland Athletics, or the Brooklyn/LA Dodgers?
I'm going to go with the Giants.
On this day in 1988, the Cardinals moved John Tudor for which Dodgers hitter? Is it Tom Bernansky, Jose Gonzalez, or Pedro Guerrero?
Can you read the options again?
Tom Bernansky, Jose Gonzalez, or Pedro Guerrero?
Bernansky.
All right, we'll double check our score and we will bring in Randy Carricker.
Ricky, how you feel?
Not great.
You answered that really fast.
That was quick.
All right.
Well, how's your day going other than that? Yeah.
Exactly. How are other things going?
You're going well, right? Can't complain about the weather yet. Next week's going to be different, but I was confident and my answers weren't confident.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. All right, Randy, say hello to Ricky.
Ricky, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing. We appreciate it.
Randy, are you superstitious?
I am somewhat superstitious, yes.
Because I notice every time you come in, you hit the buttons, you key them up as in preparation. It's just something you do.
You got to be prepared.
It's intriguing.
He's
every time
ready.
Before you sit down, you hit your buttons, put your headphones on. It's kind of a routine.
Well, you're aware of the fact that I ended I get 2 quick stories. Number 1, I ended the Stanley Cup Game 7 with my foot being asleep because I couldn't move my leg, because once Alex Pietrangelo scored that goal at the end of the first period, I wasn't moving.
I love that.
And then the other one was NFC Championship game 1999 against Tampa. Rams down 6-5. I'm sitting in the auxiliary press box in the end zone. Every game that year I'd sat in 414, row HH, seat 9. That was my seat. And the Rams obviously had only trailed for like 2 minutes at home all year long. Get to the fourth quarter, they're trailing. I said, man, I got to get out of here. I got to get up to my seat. Get up to section 414, row HH, seat 9. We had seats 9, 10, 11, 12. Patrick was sitting in the seat. I put him on my lap. Not 2 minutes later, Dre Bly picks off Sean King. And then 2 minutes after that, Warner hits Prohl with the game-winning touchdown pass. And it's all because I moved
there you
to
go.
my seat.
If you hadn't done that, it wouldn't happen.
It would not have.
There you go. All right, ready? Here we go.
All right, let's do it.
Albert Pujols didn't play more than 62 games at first base until taking over full-time at the position in 2004. Who started the majority of the games at first base for the Cardinals in 2003?
I am going to go with a guy that really wasn't a sweetheart. Tino Martinez.
Not a good guy?
Not great. So, he was 0-2 and 0-3, and then the Cardinals were able to, fortunately for them, dump the contract on Tampa Bay.
Oh, good for them.
Tino Martinez.
Last night, Nolan Arenado became the latest Cardinal to tally 3 straight seasons of 25-plus homers. Who was the last to do it?
Through 3 straight seasons. I think we have to go to Albert. I'm gonna go with the Mang.
Okay. Where are we at?
Number 3.
There are only 4 franchises that have won 9 World Series championships: the Yankees, the Cardinals, the Red Sox, and who else?
The Doyers have the most pennants in the National League, but they have lost to the Yankees in the World Series a lot. I think let's see. I'm going to go with the Lifeline. I had an idea, and if this team is on the Lifeline, I'm going to go with it. So here we go.
The San Francisco/New York Giants.
Maybe.
The Oakland Athletics.
Maybe.
The Brooklyn/LA Dodgers.
Okay, I'm going to leave the Dodgers out. I thought Giants, but I'm going to go with the A's. That was the last one I wanted them to be on the Lifeline, so I'm going to go with the I'm going to go with the Philadelphia, Kansas City, Oakland Athletics.
I was wondering why those options weren't on there.
Yeah.
That's a good job, Randy. Thank you for pointing that out
You're
to
welcome.
the listeners because it's important.
All right. In this day in 1988, the Cardinals moved John Tudor for which Dodgers hitter?
That was so much fun. Guerrero. Pedro Guerrero was a fun Cardinal to. He brought swagger. Pedro Guerrero came here and they gave him number 43. Okay, his number 28 with the Dodgers was already taken by Dan Quisenberry, and Pete says, "Man, 43 is just too heavy. I got to trade it." So he traded 43 and a case of Bud Light to Dan Quisenberry for number 28.
Really?
Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah, Pedro Guerrero. Great. He was something. So we'd be interviewing Ozzy after a game, and he would walk by stark naked and go, "Great blanking job, Ozzy!" With all of our microphones. He's something. Pedro Guerrero. Yeah, he was my Curvelo.
Even after that story, was Ricky able to take down Randy Carricker in today's fight?
Oh, you never know.
Or does Randy move on through a hump day win?
As
Ring.
he gets closer to his buttons.
Step away from the buttons. Bell!
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
The winner and still champion of the fight, Randy Carricker.
The fight is presented by Golf Discount of St. Louis. With the most experienced club fitters in town. Why shop anywhere else?
By the way, Jack Buck, once Pedro Guerrero got going here, Jack Buck told me one time that he was the best Cardinal hitter since Musial.
Really?
Just pure hitter. He would go into Chicago and hit a home run. Man, it was so much fun. It was great.
Ricky, I'm sorry you heard Buck there, and that means Randy beat you. He did beat you 4-0 today.
It's a rough one. Sorry about that.
That happens, Ricky. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much for joining the show and joining the fight. Tino Martinez started the majority of games at first base for the Cardinals in 2003. Last night, Arenado became the first Cardinal to tally 3 straight seasons of 25-plus homers since Albert Pujols. There are only 4 franchises that have won 9 World Series championships: the New York Yankees, the St. Louis Cardinals, the Boston Red Sox, and the current opponent of the Cardinals, the Oakland/Kansas City/Philadelphia Athletics.
It's a news-themed.
And on this day in 1988, the Cardinals moved John Tudor for which Dodgers hitter? It was, in fact, Pedro Guerrero. So a 4-0 win for Randy Carricker today in the fight. Thank you so much for joining the fight and joining the show today, Ricky.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ricky.
Oh, Randy?
What? Why are you guys... Why are you guys grimacing?
because you are just enjoying your face right now.
All right. Okay. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of the silliness, Randy. Coming up next, our old friend, former St. Louis Ram, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and a really good guy, now a broadcaster. Tyoka Jackson is next on 101 ESPN. With Brooke Grimsley and Super Bowl champ Kerry Davis, I'm Randy Carricker. Great to have you with us on the opening drive on 101 ESPN. And while Tyoka Jackson was a member of the St. Louis Rams, he was one of my favorites, and I always thought that Tyoka would wind up doing media work, and he has. He's terrific as a college football analyst on ESPN, and he joins us now on the Celebrity Line here on 101 ESPN in St. Louis. Ty, good to have you with us. How are you doing this morning?
Randy, I'm doing well, man. I'm happy to be back. It's good to be back on the St. Louis Airways. I miss you guys.
And we miss you too. And I don't think I've ever had you on this station, so I need you to tell people how close you were to tipping Adam Vinatieri's game-winning field goal at the end of Super Bowl 36.
Man, why are you bringing up that? Oh, man, I've got nightmares, man. I'll never forget it. It was the whole day was surreal, the whole game. But yeah, I mean, we come down to this last play. Some kid named Tom Brady drove them down and got them into field goal range. And I just remember thinking this is the most important field goal block of my life. And the ball snapped. I hit into the line, try to get into a crease, into a crack. You want to turn your shoulders, try to get a little penetration, because if you just run right into the wall that is the offensive line, you'll get nothing. So I did everything right. I turned up my shoulders, got into the crack between the two offensive linemen. I jumped as hard and as high as I could. I still feel the burn in my knees when I left the ground. I never saw the ball, but I felt the wind of the ball go past my hand
and I just turned around. I don't even remember seeing the ball go through the uprights. I remember confetti falling from the Superdome ceiling, and shook the hand of the guy in front of me who blocked me, and as he pulled me down, by the way. That was a whole didn't get that call. But then the next day, in the USA Today front page, there's my hand, and the ball literally an inch and a half to the left of my hand. And, of course, as you can tell, I'm over it.
You can still remember all of the moments from that day. Well, of course, we have to ask you about college football realignment being such a hot topic right now because the Power 5 is essentially becoming the Power 4 after the Pac-12 losing their biggest football brands. What do you make of the realignment? And also, how do you think this will affect the college football playoff format?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. It's at first glance, it's insane. I mean, you're like, wait a minute, this is not the football that I was used to as a kid growing up. You know, you had the Big Ten, you had the Pac-10 back there, the Southwest Conference, which is completely gone. Pac-10 is gone, turning to 12, but that's no longer existing. So it's a different landscape. But then after the initial emotional reaction, then you start to look around and go, look, at the end of the day, all I care about as a fan, even though I work in the game, I'm a fan first and foremost and will always be. I just want to see compelling matchups. And so, you know, being a Big Ten guy, I'm looking at what we've done. Again, initially it's insane. USC, UCLA in our conference. What? Washington and Oregon in our conference. Crazy. Well, there was a time when it was crazy that Penn State entered the conference, my alma mater. So, you know, I think we just need to focus on the fact that this is what it is today. And compelling matchups are all that really matters. So I want to see UCLA go into Ann Arbor and play Michigan. I want to see Ohio State travel to Washington. I want to see Penn State have to play Oregon in Oregon. I mean, I think those are cool matchups, right? And so, you know, I think right now the conferences are just trying to get as many bullets in the gun as possible to be able to say that we're going to have people in the college football playoff no matter how you shake it out. We got the best football, and I think that's what every conference is trying to do. And at the end of the day, these strength of schedule matchups will prove who gets in that playoff. It's going to be an expanded playoff after this year. But still, it's going to be very intriguing, and it's going to be still a lot of arguments, even with the expanded format.
Tyoka, obviously the realignment has changed college football, but NIL is changing college football every single day. The state of Missouri has passed a bill that allows high school athletes that sign with a state school to actually get NIL deal before they even step foot on campus in December. If they sign that deal, going to that college, sign their letter of intent. What do you think that does for the University of Missouri, and can that help close the gap of what they're seeing in the SEC?
Yeah, absolutely. You when you look at NIL coupled with the transfer portal, I mean, this is an explosive combination, right? And so, yes, there's two ways to look at it. You can moan, you are an institution, and you can try to fight the wave that's coming, or you can get ahead of it and figure out how to ride the wave to success. And I think that's really the only way for sustained success is to find out how to win in this new landscape. I will never rail against a system that's putting money into the pockets of the revenue generators, which are the student athletes. I mean, for over a century, let's be honest, I mean, these are unpaid employees in all the sports. So I am completely good with that situation. Obviously, it's a little bit of the Wild Wild West. And regulation is coming, and I'm not so happy about that because I know that institutions are driving the interest from politicians, and that makes me a little nervous. But at the end of the day, yes, this can be a great equalizer because you allow a rabid fan base from Mizzou to get involved legally and in a way that can help make student athletes' lives better and easier. And so that's going to be very attractive to young players, especially a high school player. And this is new information. I did not know, Corey, that this was something that's happening. So, you know, this is the first time I heard it. I think that is amazing. And if you know, it's going to put pressure on the people around these young kids to keep their perspective. That's also a thing that I'm a little concerned about. You know, this game I love this game, and the young people are in control of it now. And we just have to remember to keep the perspective. Do not allow the lure and the shininess of NIL and transfer portal to get in the way of what you're trying to accomplish, and that is to be the best student athlete you possibly can. And let's not forget about being that student. That's still important. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this thing turns out.
You talk about the transfer portal, and you know, the ultimate goal for a lot of these kids is to make it to the NFL. What are your thoughts about the transfer portal and just the ease in which they are allowed to jump school to school? And in my opinion, I'm old school. I feel like you stand and you play and you work your butt off to earn that starting spot, but really just the ease of transferring when the situation gets too hard for them.
Well, listen, this is America, and one of the things that makes this country the great country that is that you have freedom of choice. Now, freedom of choice for young people can be a gift and a curse, because we know as a young person, we tend to think the grass is always greener on the other side, right? And we know that's not always the case. And then there's also something to say that, like you just talked about, working through adversity, learning how to work through adversity. There was a time in my early career that I considered transferring from Penn State. And my goodness, if the transfer portal was available to me, I knows what would have happened. And I'm so glad I didn't, though, because I had to keep my butt there and fight through the adversity that I was going through and learn how to please my coach, Joe Paterno. Because in the real world, guess what? When you get a job, you got to figure out how to please the person who is in control of your career. I mean, and in the NFL, it's no different. Right. They're coaches in the NFL. Guess what, guys? You got to be coached in the NFL. So if you're uncoachable in college, there's a good chance you're going to be uncoachable in the NFL, and they will get your rear end out of it very quickly. So, listen, it is balance. You need balance. Certainly, I love the ability for young people to have choice, because the institutions have always had it. Coaches have left whenever they wanted to after looking their players in the eye and lying to them and saying, I'm staying here, and literally the next day leaving, okay? So I don't want to hear any complaints about from the staff. But also young players have to have balance and understand that you can't run from adversity your entire life, right? Find a situation that's comfortable, but you're going to have to fight through adversity. If you're trying to look for an easy way out, you're going to have issues down the road because life isn't easy.
Former St. Louis Ram and Tampa Bay Buccaneer Tyoka Jackson with us on 101 ESPN. You were with that great Tampa Bay defense that went on to win the Super Bowl after you had departed, and you practiced against the greatest show on turf and played against them while you were in Tampa too. Better unit, greatest show on turf Rams offense or the Tampa Bay defense?
Oh, my goodness. I'm sitting here in Tampa, and you got me talking. Randy, you always do this to me, man. Look, I'm a defensive guy. I love defense. Defense first, and defense does win championships. Defense is harder to play. The better athletes are on.
Whoa. Tyoka, defense is fine ball, get ball. We all know that.
We don't look. We're behind the 8 ball as soon as we line up. We don't know what the play is. We don't know what the snap count is, and we got to find a way to beat you to a spot, and we don't even know what the spot is. But look, all of that, we know that the two teams met in 1999, and it took a Ricky Pro circus catch in the corner to beat us then, which was the Buccaneers. And so, listen, we matched up. Rams won. Certainly on a neutral field or even in Tampa, it might have been a different deal, but we don't have to speculate. The Rams won that very important game to get to the Super Bowl, and it is what it is. But I am partial to the defense. But and then, by the way, all my friends in Tampa got a ring after I left, and all my friends in St. Louis had the ring when I got there. So, again, Randy, bring it up. Here's my trip here once again. But bottom line is, Rams offense by a toenail.
Way to play to the St. Louis audience. Okay, 2 more quick things. On the first day, Kerry Davis was in this studio with me. He said, okay, we got to lay down a ground rule here. According to us, the official opening drive greatest NBA player of all time is, and you'll agree with it, it is?
Oh, my goodness. Greatest NBA player of all time? Let me just say, I'm wordy. Let me just say, LeBron James is the most complete player who's ever played the game, but the greatest player is Michael Jordan.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. And one other important question of Tyoka Jackson. What is your favorite breakfast restaurant?
Oh, my God. That's easy. IHOP, man. Come on. Now, it's not because I opened the first IHOP ever in Washington, D.C. If you're ever there, please come visit. So we have the most amazing pancakes that you've ever tasted. They're consistent, and we're known for it. So, there is no other place that is a mecca of pancakes. IHOP. You can tell by looking at any pictures online, I'm a very fond guy of IHOP.
Hey, we're fond of you. We're so proud of the work that you're doing with ESPN. And I always knew, I think I told you when we were doing shows together that I thought you'd wind up in the media. And here you are. So it's great to talk to you as a member of ESPN. And hopefully as the season unfolds, Tyoka, we can do this a lot.
Absolutely. I'd love to come back. And I am an ESPN employee, no question. But it's funny, my games are actually on NFL Network. So NFL Network has a college game of the week. There's a collaboration with ESPN. So if you get an opportunity, slide on over to NFL Network and check our game of the week every week. And we start with Army at Louisiana Monroe. The last, the first Saturday in September, I want to say 2nd. So, check us out, man. I appreciate you guys having us on.
All right, Ty, good to hear your voice, and we'll absolutely check it out. That's Tyoka Jackson, former St. Louis Ram. Great guy, and we'll have him on during the season. Coming up, we have our Rush Hour Reset on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Kerry for Window Nation. If you're feeling the heat, the high temps aren't the only thing getting you hot under the collar. Wait until you see those high energy bills. The solution, I recommend my friends at Window Nation for new energy efficient windows. Your home stays comfortable and cool. Your AC will avoid any premature breakdown, and you will save on those high energy bills. Not to mention the incredible savings Window Nation is offering you right now. Get 50% off of any style window, bows, bays, double hung sliders, 50% off, plus put zero down, make zero payments, and zero interest for 24 months. So maintain your chill, lower your bill, and fill your home with new windows from Window Nation. Get 50% off of any style window. Put no money down, make no payments, pay no interest for 2 years. That's 2 full years. All you have to do is call 866-90-NATION. You can also get a pair of St. Louis Cardinals tickets with a purchase of a house of windows. Remember, that's 866-90-NATION, or go online at windownation.com and tell them Kerry sent you.
Stories of the day on the opening drive with a Rush Hour Reset.
Brought to you by Clubhouse Turf, your exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. We're redefining private golf.
It is 9:05 in St. Louis. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Brooke Grimsley and Super Bowl champ Corey Davis.
Oh, yeah. Corey, Casey. What else do I hear? Terry, Larry, Jerry. That's why I tell people when I go to Chick-fil-A, my name is Alex.
Alex. It's just easier.
So much easier.
You can't mess that up. Because I do enjoy sometimes on the text line, I have never seen Carrie spelled so many different ways.
KD, Karrie, Kary, Kerry.
And it's Carey, FYI.
Yeah, there you go.
Just so we all know.
Yeah, Dakota Hudson last night, 6 2/3 strong innings for the Cardinals. He allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 3 and walked 1 in 101 pitches. He goes those 6 2/3. Then Chris Vonderhaak came on. He was terrific. And John King, 2/3 of an inning. He allowed only a hit. And then Yoho Romero with a scoreless inning. He struck out 2. Yoho! And the Cardinals win at 6-2 over the Oakland Athletics. Good offense from the Cardinals, including a 2-for-4 night for Lars Nootbaar and a 2-for-4 night for Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie. Was great. I thought we were going to have Goldie. Maybe we'll do something else. Maybe we'll
2-2
do
to Goldie.
There he is.
Hammered out to right center, and that ball is going to get down and roll to the wall. Around second is Nootbaar. He rounds third. He's coming home. It's an RBI double for Paul Goldschmidt. 1-0 Cardinals.
Newt scored the run. Goldie with the RBI. The Cardinals were never headed. They win it by a score of 6-2. Tom Ackerman had the call last night on Bally Sports, and the Cardinals will go against the A's again tonight at the ballpark. The Redbirds have won 3 in a row, and as you might guess, it's party time. Coming, tra-la, tra-la. Coming and going, tra-la, tra-la. Tra-la, tra-la, tra-la. The Cardinals are coming, tra-la, tra-la. Cubs lost last night. Reds lost last night. Brewers lost last night. And here come the Cardinals.
Can you turn your mic on when you do your dance next time? That would greatly appreciate
absolutely
it.
not. No, that's just for everybody.
That's so we can hear the
us.
In-studio entertainment.
Well, then turn the camera on. That's for in-studio entertainment again. How about
I'm going to turn it on again this break. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Question for you guys. With Dakota Hudson, and I'm not trying to get too excited, but he does look better. How are we feeling about this? Are you still under the assumption of you shouldn't be watching or consuming Dakota Hudson, and the second half is not real? Or do you think that this could be the better version Dakota Hudson that they should look at and say, okay, this is encouraging for next season when we're evaluating the starting rotation?
Here's what I wish I knew. Sometimes it does take a pitcher 2 years to come back from Tommy John, and it's a little over 2 years for Dakota Hudson. He's not walking as many. The numbers, aside from just strikeouts, walks, the numbers are actually better for him, and maybe he's just finding himself in terms of being a pitcher again. I am excited. I'm still going to utilize my preference to consume him without watching him, because it does get scary at times, but last night wasn't scary at all. He was superb last night. I feel much better about Dakota Hudson than I did at the All-Star break.
Is he like celery? Remember we talked about Jay. Who was that we were talking about?
But you don't really choose to consume it.
Yeah.
Like when you make tuna salad, celery is a great addition to tuna salad.
It is.
Because it provides the crunch, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm totally on board with him. Better to be celery than coleslaw.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. BT had a teammate in the minors. His nickname was Coleslaw.
Yes, I remember that story. Yeah.
I got a question. Are you all, I mean, when you look at the ages of these guys, Zach Thompson, 25, Dakota Hudson, 28, Liberatore, 23, do you feel to a degree that because he's older, speaking of Dakota Hudson, that you may have seen what you're going to see from him? Maybe, if this is consistent, and again, you said it, Randy, he had a season where he won 16 games. So if that's the Dakota Hudson, are you more comfortable with a guy that is consistent in his everyday approach as opposed to maybe a couple of younger guys that might have a little bit more to them, but you don't know what you're going to get?
For that particular role, and I don't know what you guys think, I want innings. And he gave 6 2/3 last night. If I can get 6 2/3 and 7, if I can have that fifth guy give me a regular outing where my relief core only has to give me 6, 7, 8 outs, I feel great about that. I don't want my relief core to have to give me 12 outs on a regular basis in any game.
Zach Thompson gave you 8 strikeouts in 4. Don't you want doesn't that sound enticing?
I like that, but it was in 4 innings. Then what do I do with my other 5?
Well,
I'm wearing out my bullpen.
He's not stretched out yet.
Okay, well,
he's going to give you 8 innings with 12 strikeouts.
If he's going to give me like 16 strikeouts in 8 innings every night, I like the strikeouts. Yeah. I'm fine with that, and I think all of them have a chance. But the one thing that Hudson has is the history that he's done it before.
He does have the history. I do think that is a very valid point about how long it might take certain athletes to recover after Tommy John surgery, and maybe that's what it is. I just think he definitely was a part of this picture when they were evaluating star pitchers going to the season, and one of the reasons why they didn't go and search for, or maybe didn't get the right fit for off-season starting pitchers, and when they were looking at that market and were shocked by some of the sticker prices, I think that they were hoping that Dakota Hudson would be a part of this conversation, and it's great what he's doing now. It just still concerns me that it took a bit to get to this point.
Oh, yeah. It's always a concern, and that's why we have had the conversation that we've had, because you really don't know what to expect. However, last month, 3-0, ERA not great, 4.82, but he puts you in a position to win the game, and that's all I'm asking for from a guy in that spot in the rotation. I don't look for him to dominate. I just, and by the way, he's also a guy that has pitched well out of the bullpen. That if he would be on a staff where you were in the playoffs, he would be fine to come out of the bullpen and get you ground balls too. So I like him. I think he's really good, and I think he's really solid. I don't think he's really good. I think he's really a solid guy to have on a team.
What's a solid condiment that you need? Ketchup.
Ketchup is good. Yeah,
I think ketchup's essential. I think mustard.
Spicy brown. Mustard. That's fancy.
But here's the thing: well, the Cardinals need a ribeye.
Fancy.
They need something that the accoutrements are added
the main
to.
dish.
Yeah.
You need a main dish.
They need a ribeye.
You need a filet mignon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and that's what they're looking for in the offseason.
The listeners don't know this, but Randy just scored 25 points on our Word of the Day competition.
There you go.
Accoutrement.
Oh,
yeah. See,
fancy.
I paid attention in French class. I never took a French class.
Just walking by, heard him talking.
Yep. That is your Rush Hour Reset here on 101 ESPN. By the way, thanks to our friends at the Chocolate Rooster. Erica at the Chocolate Rooster is amazing. And if you find her on Facebook, and she has makes the best gooey butter cakes ever. And the thing about Erica is she'll tell you that baking, and especially baking gooey butter cake, is her love language, and you will totally get it once you have a Chocolate Rooster gooey butter cake. And it's part of Randy Palooza.
Randy Palooza. And they even made stickers that say Randy Palooza. That's amazing.
Every day this week you've gotten some. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's not great for our diet, Scary. It's not.
Talk about
I have great best friends. It's cool. Coming up next, Rocc and Roll before Adam Wainwright at the bottom of the hour on 101 ESPN. I love the mission of Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Their mission is to be the very best in customer service and quality craftsmanship when they put together an outdoor project for you. They put quality and professionalism first in everything they do, and they've done that for 55 years. They're locally owned and operated at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They've been around since 1968, and they have their own professionally trained installation crews and trucks and tools. They operate out of their own warehouse and large showroom, which you can check out in Chesterfield Valley. And they're going to do fantastic work for you, whether it is a fence or a deck or a sunroom or a screen room or a pergola. They'll provide a free in-home estimate at no obligation, plus free project design, and put together the ideal outdoor project for you. You want to turn your deck into a sunroom or a screen room? Totally cool. If you have a new pet or you have a new house and you have pets, well, they do a fantastic job with wood and vinyl fences. They also have beautiful wood and vinyl decks, and this Vecca deck vinyl decking is the strongest in the industry with beautiful colors like espresso, hazelnut, and storm. It really is the place for your outdoor project. Tell them Randy sent you and get 20% off your next installed outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Find them on the web at chesterfieldfence.com. Call 800-300-4054. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
I want to rock. And roll.
Let's rock. Let's rock today.
It's time for Rock and Roll here on 101 ESPN. Matthew, what do you got for me?
Randy,
it's literally me today.
Can we just do a quick little status check on our co-host here today, and Carrie and Brooke? Carrie, Brooke, how you guys doing? You look happy and yet exhausted.
My God.
I'll see you all next segment.
The discipline once again out the window, out the door for me, because that gooey butter cake, I'm not kidding you. I have tried a lot here, and I do like it, but that is the best version of the gooey butter cake I've ever had. CD, we were talking about it. The crunch was perfect.
The crunch and the goo.
Oh, my God.
And it's from the Chocolate Rooster, by the way.
That is delightful. Thank you so much.
Yes.
It is amazing.
It was everything.
There aren't words for it.
No.
Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I really told Randy, hey, you and Rocc got it this segment. I just want to, I took that, I just want to feel warm and
Take
fuzzy.
I'm
good right now. I'll be back next segment.
A sugar gooey cake.
Sugar high.
Carrie, that's perfect. Because you can just sit back for a moment and enjoy this. You were talking earlier during your bird watch about Tommy Edman and him facing righties as a righty this season. I thought it was fascinating, so I wanted to dive in here and find the split here. Tommy Edman has 41 at-bats this year as a righty facing a righty. In his career, he has 41 at-bats. The guy, he only has 4 plate appearances in his entire career before this season, righty facing a righty. And he's hitting 270, 317 on base, 432 slug with a 750 OPS. For him to pick that up this far into his career, never having done it before, and to hit with that split, I didn't realize how much that had really jumped out. That's a fascinating stat when you look at it, and it speaks to how much Tommy Edman, while he is just barely, just over an average hitter, his career OPS, I think, is 99. His last 2 years, OPS plus, I should say, is 103 and 102. That kind of versatility and that kind of wherewithal to be adaptable, not just on the field but at the plate. That's a useful thing for the Cardinals going forward.
Yeah, I think it's just a high IQ for the game, understanding who he's facing. He's a Stanford guy, if I'm not mistaken, so he's pretty intelligent.
Yes, yeah.
Soon to be in the whatever conference they're going to be in. But yeah, it's really cool to watch because he's picking his times, and then I would assume that it probably throws the pitcher off as well because the pitcher is going to be expecting a left-handed batter to come into the box, and here he is facing you right-handed. It might shift their game a little bit, their game plan going into that at bat. So he's doing a really good job, at the plate and in the field.
Can you give me those numbers one more time, just the at-bats?
41 at-bats. And you went
the 270 average?
270 average, 750 OPS.
Taylor Motter, right-handed hitter this year against right-handed pitching. 40 at-bats, batting 175 with a 233 on base, 200 slug, and a 433 OPS.
Oh, those
so
are
what are you saying?
Those are numbers.
He shouldn't be playing second?
Probably not. Well,
we like Taylor Motter.
He's a good guy. It's just Taylor Motter is 33 years old and he's been hitting right-handers as a right-handed hitter his entire life. Right?
Root for those guys.
I do too, and he's
great
guy.
Yes, great hair. Great. Yes.
I'm pointing out the striking nature of Tommy Edman not hitting right-handed against right-handers on a regular basis, 100 points higher than Motter's his entire life. It's just really impressive.
It is.
Brooke, you had something to mention baseball-wise? I want to switch topics to soccer, but I want to get this baseball point before we do.
Just really quick. Trevor Rosenthal just tweeted out. So he's been tweeting out a lot of interesting stuff about some sports mentality things, and he talked about Bob Gibson, and I just retweeted it for those who aren't following him. And he talked about how Gibson talked to Trevor Rosenthal about just mentality, and he said that he would be so competitive that he told me after each game he would pee blood. That's how intense that he was. So Trevor Rosenthal said, when applying our effort and intensity to work, stop and rate on a scale from 0 to pissing blood.
Oh my God. I've never been that competitive.
Randy, I'm extremely competitive.
There will never be another like Bob Gibson. Never.
How's that possible?
I don't know. That hurt me just to hear it.
Probably a level past dehydration, I would assume. Like on the scale, you see the scale, it's clear, yellow applesauce, apple juice, and then blood.
And then blood. I didn't really remember seeing that on the scale
either.
Good Lord, Bob Gibson was different.
There will never be anybody else like him. And I don't even know if you can even reach that level of mentality.
No.
If we should want people to reach that level of mentality, just like in society.
Yeah. Wouldn't you love to have that guy in the Cardinals right now?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but I'd be scared if he wasn't playing a sport, Randy.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That is a fair point.
That's all I'm saying. Like, he's just out in the world as an accountant. I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, well, it's funny because and we see it with Kerry. Fortunately, Kerry's got coaching as an outlet. But I remember talking to... That's a good point. Yep, talking to Chris Carpenter after he had retired, and he was playing a lot of golf. And I said, is that your competitive outlet? And he looks down, looks back up, looks me dead in the eye and says, dude, you got to remember, I was pitching in the World Series. Golf does not do it for me.
Coaching does give me a little bit of that. My kids sometimes think I'm crazy. Like every now and then I have to, because I'm so passionate about this game. Mm-hmm. And if it's not played correctly, then people get hurt. People like really could get hurt. So I'm passionate about you doing your job, doing it correctly. I've seen guys get mauled because somebody didn't do their job effectively or properly. Yeah. And so if you're not, I kind of lose it. I lost a computer last year. Yeah. I won't make that mistake again.
The computer was Michael Spinks and Kerry was Mike Tyson.
He lost the computer.
That sounds like a high level intensity.
Now, if you can see their faces, I said, no, get the hell out. And they were like, yep. Gotta go. All right, we're out here.
Okay, let's do a quick soccer before we get to Adam.
Yes, so Nukvi Torsen is in
that's the new St. Louis City SC'er.
Yes, he is, and he is in town. They did a photo shoot with him yesterday, and then they interviewed him and asked him how to say his name. So that's actually the last time I'm going to refer to him specifically as that because he cleared it up, and here's how he says it.
Nukvi Torsen. Everyone in Belgium said it like Torsen, but it's actually like the movie Thor, but yeah, Torsen. This letter right here is O, so it's Thorisson. And in Iceland, he's called Thor. Thor.
So there you have it. There you have it. They said no, because when they gave us Thoresen, I was bummed because I'm like, people are going to hear Thoresen, they're going to see it spelled Thoresen, and they're only going to want to call him Thor. But thank Lord, the Belgians were screwing him over completely by calling him Thoresen, and he's Thoresen.
Thoresen.
We got it. It's Thor.
Thoresen.
Thoresen. Nukvi Thoresen.
So then you get the official sign-off that you can call him Thor, right?
Nukvi Thoresen.
No, that's Nukvi Thoresen. You can call him Thor. You can call him Thor 100%. That's all. That's all I care
took
about.
Away from
that's
that.
the only thing I took away as well.
Yeah, me too.
All the fans too. Like, oh, all right, we'll get those costumes ready and signs ready.
And this sport is so confusing because they literally, the Belgian club tells City, like, this is how we say his name. City kicks out their press conference and says, this is how you say his name. And then you get an interview with him, and he's like, no, actually, the Belgians pronounce it differently.
And CDSC did it right. That's what you do.
Yes, exactly. That's why it's so
what
tricky.
You do.
That's why it's so tricky in this world game, because different countries pronounce it different ways. And I always say, how do you pronounce it in your home country? That's how we'll pronounce it here. Other countries apparently do it a little different.
People thought I was an idiot at the initial Zoom with Nolan Arenado. I said, how do you pronounce your name? Because it had been Arenado for his entire career. And he said, I don't think anybody's ever asked that. It's Arenado. And so, you got to ask, right?
Yes, and people still do say Arenado because it's been put out there so long. We need Sim Robersa to
be consistent, please.
To tell us, tell us.
Whatever he says the one time is what the heck I'm calling him from that point on. You can change it later, but it's going to be until further notice. It'll be that.
I also didn't want a Vladdy Redux where it's like we got a nickname for the guy and he hated it because of the translation. So I was worried that it was Thoresen and everyone was just going to call him Thor. I was like, that's going to grate on the guy. We're good. We're clear. Start printing the Thor memorabilia right now. Let's put it in stone.
There was a quarterback recruited to Notre Dame named Joe Theismann.
Yeah.
They decided that they were going to do a Heisman campaign and change the pronunciation of his name to Theismann rather than Heisman.
That's
interesting, isn't it?
Say Theismann forever. We're going to talk to Adam Wainwright, our buddy, and it's Wednesdays with Waino, and we're going to be with Adam next on 101 ESPN.
This is Rocky with your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals over the A's last night, 6-2. Dakota Hudson with a great start, 6 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and a home run allowed in that game. Cardinals back in action, looking for the sweep over the A's. It's a 5:45 first pitch today. It'll be Matthew Liberatore, the lefty, facing off against Paul Blackburn, the righty, for the Oakland A's. That is your Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff. Find your road and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffAutoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Baseball and what's happening at Big League Impact with Cardinals pitcher Adam Wainwright.
Wednesdays with Waino is presented by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
With Brooke Grimsley and Super Bowl champ Kerry Davis, I'm Randy Carricker. Great to have you with us, and always great to go to the celebrity line for another world champion, our friend Adam Wainwright, founder of Big League Impact, Cardinal right-hander. And Adam, it's always good to have you on Wednesdays or Thursdays. Good morning. How you doing?
Wednesdays with Waino this week. Hey, guys. How are y'all? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you. I want to start with this because we're going to have our fantasy football get-together on Friday, and you and a lot of your teammates are going to be out there, some of the coaches from the Cardinals. You guys had an off day on Sunday, and so many of your teammates and coaching staff and manager were out at the Majorette to help out with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I just want to congratulate you and thank you and your teammates for what you do in the community. I know it's been a tough year on the field for the most part, but you guys don't stop with using your platform to do good things for the community.
Well, we love to do that, and the Make-A-Wish event is always a fun event. Every year we love having those times, that hours that we can get out there and spend with those kids who, at the end of the day, as performers, we have a great opportunity to make those wishes come true. And that's just something we love to do, man. I mean, sometimes those wishes are going out on the baseball field, and sometimes they're going to a WWE, wrestling event or whatever it is. But as athletes, especially as athletes who have had a lot of our wishes come true ourselves, we love passing that on. And those little children, man, those kids, they're affected in such an incredible way. That's such a great charity. We love spending time with those kids and watching their growth and seeing so many kids over the years that have come out of their illnesses is also a super powerful thing.
That is awesome. Well, I wanted to ask you, Waino, about Dakota Hudson with another solid outing last night, and he's looked really good in his past 3 starts since rejoining the rotation. His strikes are up, his walks are down. What's the biggest difference that you've seen from him in these most recent starts?
Well, you nailed it, Brooke. I think really the biggest difference that I see in Dakota right now is that he's attacking his zone. He's getting in good counts. He's getting strike one, which is honestly probably the most important pitch other than the out pitch of the whole at bat. It's just amazing what batting average and slugging percentage do when you get 0-1 instead of 1-0, and he's doing that really well. He's keeping his pitch count down, getting those good ground balls like we know he can get, but he's also added in a couple of strikeout pitches. He's throwing a great changeup now, that the swing and miss changeup, and he's throwing a really good slider now, that swing and miss. But he's throwing them. The key to that is he's throwing them in the right locations to get those swing and misses when he needs them, when he does get ahead in the count. So it's really fun to watch Dakota. Nobody in that clubhouse gets rooted for more than Dakota. Everybody loves Dakota. He's such a good teammate, such a good person, such a good friend, and we love seeing him succeed out there.
Adam, we know that the outings haven't been going the way that you expect them to and the way that you know that you can perform. But I was intrigued to know, what have the conversations been like with you and Ali? How much support has he given you during these tough times?
Ali's been amazing. Everyone's really been amazing. It's just being transparent. It's just an unbelievable season so far, right? I mean, like I have to have the ability to cut the cord and move on, be ready for the next outing. But if you look statistically, it just doesn't even make sense. It's just a lot of things just are outliers for my whole career. Like nothing has ever happened like this. So in some ways, I don't really know how to respond to it, and in some ways, I just have to keep working and responding, and answering the bell. Eventually, it will turn. We're running out of time here, and I know that. So those guys have been. It's hard to. It's really hard to put into words how supportive everyone's been for me. So, it's been a long time with this organization. It's been a long time in the city, and everyone is reminding me of the good times, which is what I need to hear. And that's. I really want to deliver for everyone who's being so loyal to me right now. I really want to deliver and finish really strong.
Adam, when I was in college, I had a situation where I couldn't catch a pass no matter where you threw it from, who threw it, how they threw it. I just dropped everything. And I realized that it was more of a mental block than it was just a physical thing. Do you feel like it's a mental thing right now when you go out there on the mound?
Well, in some ways it is, yeah. I mean, I think what gets lost in players last year's playing, especially when you announce it, and that's kind of what I was resisting against. When you announce it and everybody knows it, and all you do is talk about the end, you find yourself only thinking about the end instead of being in the present. So what I need to do is because I'll tell you this, physically, I've gotten through much more than what I'm going through. Like I've just in 2017 and 18, I was pitching with a broken elbow, bones hitting together, and found a way to get through and come back and have some really good years after that. And there's been other times where I'm barfing, between innings. There's been other times where I can barely tie my shoes because I threw my back out or something, and found ways to go out and get out. So my wife reminded me about that last night. She's amazing at that. She's like, hey, because I have been stronger mentally, if that answers any questions for you. So, and she recognized that, and she pointed that out to me, and she's right, and you're right. So that's something I'm working really hard on actually right now is stopped the focus of the end of the season. We have a month and a half left. I have to be in the present. I have to get my edge back. That's the main thing. As soon as you lose that, man, you have lost your ability to pitch in the big league. So get that back and be back in the present, and then we'll see what happens.
Adam, can you use win numbers 199 and 200 as a carrot to get to the present?
I think what I'm using right now is today I have some work in the weight room. I have some work in the training room. I have some work on the field that I'm doing. And that's the carriage that leads me to tomorrow. And I'm just worried about what is exactly happening right now. And I'm trying not to focus any more about 199 and 200 because that seemingly is not a carrot that is strong enough to pull me in the right direction. Where I need to just worry about what I'm doing right now, and that's how I'm going to get the most out of those next few wins.
Waino, Michael Wacha with a great return to the mound from the injured list last night, and he did an interview beforehand just talking about how important you were to his development in the big leagues. Do you feel like a proud father sometimes seeing guys like Michael Wacha and others just go on and continue to be successful in the leagues? And he also said that your daughters used to confuse you two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people confuse us. Here's the thing that you got to know. Nobody ever thinks I'm me. I'm either Michael Walker or Chris Carpenter or Drew Verhagen or even Dusty Blake sometimes. I mean, it's kind of hilarious. Madison Bumgarner, I've been confused for all kinds of different people, but it's I wouldn't say it's rare, but I get confused a lot for other people. And Michael Walker's a good looking guy. And he's about 12 years my younger, so I'll take it. But it is cool to see. I feel at least like a big brother. I don't know if father figure is the right way for Michael. So maybe some of these younger guys, but big brother to Michael for sure, big brother to Lance Lynn, big brother to Jack Flaherty and Dakota and guys like that. So it's really fun to know that you had a piece of, just a piece of their lives, that they were gracious enough to let me be a part of it, and it's cool to see them carry that on, because I know they're passing it on too.
Hey, Adam, we do have 6 weeks to go, and you're going to pitch a little bit more. But, man, as you look at these last couple of weeks with Liberatore, with Zach Thompson, with the Dakota, who we talked about, how do you feel about the future of Cardinals starting pitching?
Well, so there's some incredible pieces here, and here's what I love. I love seeing guys start to finally figure out who they are and what they need to be and how they need to go about things. And I think you saw that with Libby last start. He goes into Tampa, a very tough team, especially against left-handers. They have great numbers against left-handers, and he goes 8 shutout with 2 hits with a bunch of strikeouts and low pitch count. Could have easily finished that game. I just thought, that was a kind of a coming out party for him. And then when I watched Zach Thompson, a guy who has eerily similar stuff to a guy who's been pretty good out there in that Dodger uniform, named Kershaw. This guy, Zach, he throws that good penetrating, hard, heavy fastball, but that curveball is a complete outlier. Big. It's like when you watch it on TV, it's like it pops up, which is usually a bad thing, and which is exactly what Kershaw's does. But when you're at the plate, because he uses his fastball at the top of the zone, and you're so used to him coming in hard on you, you just can't react to it. And then he's throwing that little slider now, which is exactly what happened with Kershaw. He was throwing fastball, curveball, and then all of a sudden he got that little slider, and all of a sudden he goes from 5 innings, 100 pitches to winning Cy Young. So I know that's a huge comparison, but the stuff is very, very, very similar. And I told both those guys after their last couple outings, after Libby's outing and after Zach's last 2 outings, I pulled them both aside, and I said, look, now you've set the bar. Anything less than that, I'm going to be disappointed, and I don't like being disappointed, do I, guys? And so, I just want them to know that that's who they are. That's who they should expect to be, and that wasn't luck. That wasn't a crazy fluke. That's who they are. That's what their potential is, and that's what we expect.
Adam, I just want to say we here. I think I speak for everyone here when I say this, that we really appreciate what you've done so far in your career. I'm not saying it's over yet because I know you still got time left, but just keep your head up, keep working, man. I know you will, and it's been an honor to watch your career, watch you pitch, watch you play. Most people don't know the amount of physical and mental fortitude that it takes to be a professional athlete and do it at the elite level that you have done it, and we look forward to seeing you finish the season the correct way, and we're rooting for you, brother, so keep going.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Kerry. I appreciate it. It means a lot, and I trust me, if anything, I'm stubborn, and I'm not a quitter. And so, we're too close to the end here to do that. And so you're stuck with me, and I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to make you – I really want to and believe I'm going to go back out there and make people remember the good times. So that's the plan.
And, Adam, before we let you go, people will be out with you and several of your teammates Friday at the ballpark. What can people that are playing in the Fantasy Football League, the Big League Impact Fantasy Football League, expect on Friday?
Well, it's just a really great time. We go out to Busch Stadium and play some catch on the field. I've got a couple of coaches signed up to hit some fungos in the infield, and the outfield will be taking outfield, we'll be taking infield. Just from a baseball standpoint, being able to do that at Busch Stadium is a cool thing that a lot of people never get to do, and so that's a fun start. And then, go up in the suite levels and hang out for a while. People ask questions, and I think there's an autograph passed out to everyone, and then suite level tickets for the game, and then a little bit of trash talking involved. Randy, as you know, there's I think we have 6 leagues of 12 people so far, and it's just really good fun time playing fantasy football together as a group all season long. And then the winner, the winners get really cool prizes, but I think it's more about that first day experience to me. I mean, it's fun playing and trading and doing all that throughout the years with athletes, and I know that. But what I hear from people who come in are great donors who spend a lot of money and time to give to Big League Impact. So we're doing a lot of wonderful things, but we couldn't do it without our donors. What I hear from donors over the years is, man, that first day I brought my son, and that is something we'll never forget. And that's what we're trying to, those experiential things that you just can't get somewhere else. That's what we're trying to give at Big League Impact, and the money that we raise, it goes right to help people. We try to be so faithful with that money and so transparent with that money, and we want to let people know exactly their impact. And so we show some cool videos that the impact made, and with the organizations that will be helping, and it's just a really, it's a crazy cool day. We've been doing it since 2013, and a lot of people have benefited from it.
Can't wait to see you, and we always appreciate your time on Wednesdays. Thank you, Adam, and have a great day.
Okay, thank you, guys.
See you. Adam Wainwright, Cardinals right-hander, and the founder of Big League Impact, with us on 101 ESPN. Coming up, some huge broadcasting news for us here on 101, and we'll tell you about it next. Hey, I want you to know about Mentality. I'm going to stop by later today, and they have helped me retain and maintain an energy level that I thought was gone. Because, guys, as we pass our 30th birthday, our testosterone level decreases, and with it, our energy level decreases. Well, when you go to Mentality, they're going to do a complete test of your blood work and give you a complete physical and find out where your testosterone level is. And when they find out where it is, it's inevitably going to be low. And they have an FDA-approved testosterone treatment that they'll supply every week, and you will be able to retain and regain that energy, regain and retain that energy and that testosterone level. All you need to do is make an appointment at one of their clinics here in St. Louis, either Chesterfield or South County. Go to lowtusa.com to make that appointment, lowtusa.com. They'll work with your insurance company so that you can be able to have the lowest out-of-pocket expenses possible, maybe no out-of-pocket expenses, and you can get back in the game. You can be the guy that you want to be. You can have the energy you want to have by going to Mentality at lowtusa.com. Hey, guys, I'm so excited about IndyCar coming back to St. Louis for a 7th year. The IndyCar Series is incredible, and it's going to be over at Worldwide Technology Raceway on Saturday, August 26th and Sunday, August 27th. If you like watching the cars and the stars of the Indy 500, well, they're coming here to St. Louis for their last oval race of the season. They're going to be pushing 200 miles an hour down the straightaways, getting just a few inches off the wall and battling wheel to wheel. It really is amazing. On Saturday, you can catch IndyCar practice and qualifying along with the Outfront Showdown for the Indy Next Series, live music, and an incredible car show on the midway. And then on Sunday, it's the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 for Indy cars. But the day kicks off with Rumble Before the Roar, pre-race party, vintage Indy cars, and more music and a huge Corvette show. Plus, this year, the USAC Crown Series battle it out for 100 miles just before the big race. It's a great weekend of racing broadcast to a massive worldwide audience. You need to be there. Get your tickets now at WWTRaceway.com. Brought to you in part by Discover Downstate Illinois and the Illinois Office of Tourism. All right, we've got a brief segment down the stretch here, but we want you to know that Bally Sports and the Blues announced this morning that Jamie Rivers is going to be the new TV analyst for Blues hockey on Bally Sports Midwest. He will remain here as a co-host of The Fast Lane with Anthony Stalter here on 101 ESPN. He's, of course, been a Blues alum since 2019. He was a terrific player for the Blues, 2 different stints. He wore number 6 one time and number 20 another time, and knows all sports, and he's been a great addition to our staff here and will continue here at 101 ESPN. But congratulations to Jamie Rivers. In addition to being a really smart sports guy, just a really good person, and we congratulate him on getting that gig with Bally Sports.
Yep. He's great.
Deserves it. Jamie's the absolute best. I'm lucky enough to sit back there in that office sometimes, and he would go through and he'd be prepping his video breakdowns for Bally's later that day, and he would sit there and walk me through it. And I was like, I think I learned more about hockey in 5 20-minute spans than I did my entire life before that. And that's how good Jamie is. To get that out to listeners every day, they're lucky to hear that.
It's a high bar to replace Darren Pang, but there's nobody better in terms of, like you say, Matthew, analyzing the game and analyzing it as it's going on than Jamie Rivers. He knows what he's talking about.
Awesome. Yeah, he adds so much to that broadcast, and I've always enjoyed it over the years. And when I did Blues Weekly over at KMOV, one of my favorite guests to have on there because of the way that he's able to break down the game and make it digestible for everybody, even whether you are, just a new hockey fan or been a hockey fan for a long time. He makes it really easy for everyone to understand.
So we're looking forward to watching the games with Rivs and John Kelly, and of course, we will have Blues hockey for you here on 101 ESPN with Chris Kerber and Joe Vitale and the gang, and we can't wait till that gets started either. We also can't wait until we get to the office.
We are ready.
We're gonna get out of here. We're sprinting out of here.
Yeah, we had somebody on the YouTube chat, Chris. Message in, where's Fen Bar and Grill? I thought you were getting food brought in. Trust me.
Oh, it's here.
We have to do the show, and it wouldn't have happened.
It's all the way over there.
We opened it.
But thanks to the Fenton Bar and Grill, thanks to the Chocolate Rooster for their CDs bringing it over.
You have to go to the tube and you can see.
Yep.
It's so much.
I can't wait.
And there's more.
Great friends, great listeners, and thank you very much for it's. I don't know if we've mentioned it on the air. So a friend of mine has done Randy Palooza this week, so we get something every single day. Because my birthday's on Saturday.
Yes.
So it's been pretty fun.
And
awesome,
Carrie and Rocchio and I are benefiting from it.
I'm glad
we are.
We're enjoying
this. We got great friends. Yeah,
glad you're on the bandwagon. Thank you very much. And great job today by our producer and audio engineer, one Green Seats Matthew Rocchio.
Green Seats Rock.
Oh, that was from his parents.
For the parents.
Wink,
Love Barb and Dave. My pleasure.
Yeah.
There we go. Good. Brooke, this was fun.
This was fun.
Yeah. CD?
My man.
Hey, we've got a balloon party coming up with our guys, T-Mac and Ajax, and then you'll have BK and Ferrario from 11 to 2, and then from 2 to 6, it is the Fast Lane with Anthony. And is Anthony joined by Rivs today? I don't know.
Anthony is out.
No, Anthony's out.
Yeah,
Are you
out for the next few shows
today?
Today,
are you in?
T-Bone, Tanner Henderson will be joining the Fast Lane.
Yeah. Okay. Good. With
You'll be
Rivs.
working today, right?
Yeah.
you
Not
do
today.
it.
I'm working right now. I'm about to work on these wings.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, we thank you for tuning in, texting in, and being a part of the show for all of us. Until tomorrow morning at 7. Have a great hump day, St. Louis.
That's right.